Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a game very near and dear to my heart, and a game I've been looking forward to covering for 3 years, something like that. It's been a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the mini Mario block, which will be starting with Super Mario Bros. 2. As usual, I do want to say shoutouts and gratitude to the people who made these runs happen. I'd tell you who they are, but naturally I don't have the spreadsheet up. That's just insanity. That'll take me just a moment. Hang on. Oh, wow. Okay. There it is. So this is one of those runs that was funded before we were keeping track of specifics, so I'm not sure how much everyone donated to this one. So all I have to say is thank you to Geludo, Trickster's Lab, Biozilla, Strimmer Rage, Delbach, Permeus, Bragwin, Frieza 2000, Epic Da Vinci, Blue Wolf Alex, Savacom, Fuzzy Duck, Tizara, Justin T 1977, The Count 35, Pipeliner Jim, Final Cloud 14, Platty, Death Kiss My Face, Upon a Time, Timanash, Churen, and the person who put these games on the list, Sonic Doctor. Thank you, all of you, very much for your support, as always. Thank you. I forgot to take this earlier. Well, I am actually pretty excited and terrified. I thought about reviewing the SNES version. It would change a few minor things. If we reviewed the GBA version, it would change another minor thing. But no, the intent is to review the original. And even though it does change the score, it only changes the score in one relatively minor way. All I'm going to say is that Icken Fell is a game that was just given money by Mr. Red. Thank you, Mr. Red, as always. The SNES version has slightly different continuation things, and obviously different graphics, and the GBA version has much better continuation system, so that's how it would change the score. But those are relatively minor issues, and honestly, this is the copy that's easiest to play and easiest to get a hold of, and is the original, so we're just going to review the original and say screw it. So, having said all that, some of you may or may not know the common joke, but let's be very clear. This is Super Mario Bros. 2. The other one is called Lost Levels. The end. Now, back in the day, they were working on Mario Brothers. Now, Nintendo really, I kind of talked about this when we were covering the Mario 1 thing, but let's really go into this a little bit. Nintendo really took a risk on Super Mario Brothers. Now, they had very talented people, very creative people, who managed to put out a very good product, but honestly, that was still a huge gamble. It took off, it exploded, and one of the things they did, which is relevant for our story, is they established a separate office which, while subservient, nevertheless had an enormous amount of leeway with regards to how they operated. That office was called Nintendo of America, sometimes simply called NOA. Nintendo of America had unprecedented levels of independence. They could actually just do whatever they wanted to and literally say no to the home office if they felt like it. Now, the reason for this establishment was actually very simple. It was understood at the time, this is mid to early 80s, excuse me, that the American market was just so different from the Japanese market that they needed people who understood that market and therefore would operate in that market. And that's funny to mention that given everything we've been talking about for the last several weeks with regards to Mega Man and Capcom. But anyways, this is relevant for our story, I swear. Either way, what happened is they sat down, Mario 1 was a smash hit, and they're like, okay, we've got to make a Mario 2. We've got to make a Super Mario Bros. 2. All right, what do we do? So they actually did make a very slightly modified engine, which allowed for them to do a few other slightly different things, mostly with like regards to how the physics worked. You know, like being able to push you, like the air is pushing you, and a couple of other different things with regards to the jump mechanics. And they said, okay, new engine, let's make some new levels. The problem is, while those engine changes are there, for all intents and purposes, Lost Levels looked exactly like Mario Brothers 1. And so when it was actually produced and actually put out, the overall main perception was that it was Mario Brothers 1.5, or we didn't have the terms back then, but nowadays we'd simply call it an expansion. That's what Lost Levels is in pretty much every way. It is an expansion to Mario Brothers 1. Now, they were like, okay, let's go ahead. I know, weird, right, others? Um, let's go ahead. Hi, Rex. You need to watch Chapter 12. It was legit. Oh my god. I actually got emotional and chills and everything. It was fantastic. So, theater plug. They're like, okay, we'll go ahead and reach out to the Nintendo of American office. What's going on? And NOA said, no, we're not releasing this here. Now, again, this is why this was relevant for our story, because NOA had enormous independence. So they could do that. They could say no. They could just tell the Japanese office, no, we're not doing that. Now, many times there are rumors that circle around that say that X game isn't released or is changed in the West because difficulty, right? We've talked about this several times before. Mega Man 2, to use a very recent example. This also came with Final Fantasy 4 and Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. There are multiple examples of this, and each time I have shot down those rumors as what they are, rumors. For the first time, the difficulty was, in fact, something that was actually considered when it came to releasing this. So, but even that is being dismissive, because this was not something that the Japanese decided because you Americans are pathetic, terrible baby men. Instead, Nintendo of America decided this specifically because, guys, we don't need to be hitting what is effectively a niche market right now. Now, this was the right call. Let's be very clear about this. Now, we know this with the advantage of hindsight, but this was the right call. Remember, at this point in time, the video game industry in the United States was still reeling, still recovering from the crash, from the absolutely enormous loss of the biggest and most important thing for any market to exist, customer trust. And so deciding to release a niche game at that point in time was not going to work. So they said no. And they were like, okay. Well, we want to work on another Mario game anyways. And this one gentleman who actually still works at Nintendo, Kensuke Tanabe, was working on a team over some guy at Miyamoto something. And they came up with this idea for a game. They actually got a workable demo. It was a two-player game. I've seen bits of it. I thought about pulling up a thing here. Yeah, exactly. The crash had echoes. Let's just put it that way. And the way it worked is it was a vertical game. It was designed to be entirely vertical. And that was considered somewhat innovative at the time, since verticality was pretty rare in video games. Looking at you, Metroid, which we'll be talking about someday. And you would like jump up around and try to get up, and at certain points you'd get to a point where you couldn't progress. You'd grab items or grab enemies, and you'd stack them, and you'd use those to get further up. Now, this actually sounds like a neat concept, but the problem is everyone involved in the project said, this is dumb. Oh, it's a neat concept, but it's a one-layer game. There's no depth. There's no complexity. This is the kind of thing you'd see as a mini game, and they all knew it. So they kind of took that game and just kind of shelved it. Meanwhile, this was back when Nintendo, this is another important historical point, Nintendo wasn't really Nintendo yet, not as we know them nowadays. Nowadays, they are such a giant that they have successfully pushed off multiple attempts to, with regards to hostile buyouts into the company, because they're Nintendo. Remember how I mentioned how Metroid Dread is so polished? The reason they could do that is because they're Nintendo. And it's not like everything they touch is gold, and they make plenty of mistakes, but let's be clear with this. Nintendo has the weight and backing and establishment to do whatever the hell they want to. But that wasn't true back in the day. Nintendo was still establishing itself, and they basically had one hit under their belt, and were still trying to figure out what they were doing with this. If you ever wonder why, especially in the 80s and the early 90s, there was a huge amount of weird, random Nintendo things like the Zelda CDI, or the Mario teaching games, or the Super Mario Brothers movie, right? Like, those are just three examples right off the top of my head. But the reason that kind of stuff kept happening was because they were operating like any other company. And like any other company, when another company came to them saying, hey, could we please have, or rather, let me walk the bit. We'd like to offer you the opportunity to work with us, Nintendo jumped on it like any small company would, right? So, when they were approached by Fuji Television to do a game for the Yume Kojo, I'm almost assuredly pronouncing that wrong, Festival of 1987, they jumped on it. Because of course they did. Because they were still small and they needed every little bit of help they could get, both with regards to money, but also with regards to establishment. Now, They were looking at this and they were like, okay, okay. You know what? I've got an idea. Let's take that vertical scrolling game we just talked about and let's kind of adapt that in. And what they took that engine and they took that build and all, the picking up throwing mechanic and the verticality mechanic, both of which were parts of the engine. I know that's an inaccurate term, but whatever. Of Super Mario Brothers, of the unnamed game that was supposed to be Super Mario Brothers 3, and they turned it into a game called Doki Doki Panic, which everyone's heard of. Now, this actually turned out pretty well, sold pretty well, put Nintendo a little bit more on the map. Now, I once found a rather extensive list of changes between Doki Doki Panic and Mario Brothers. And there's actually such a huge list that I'm staring at it right now, that I'm not actually going to list the full changes for you, because it's a big list. But what happened was, they're like, okay, we got this. And Nintendo of America had reached out and said, okay, we're doing pretty well. We're doing really pretty well. Do you have a Mario 2 for us? Like another Mario 2 that isn't Lost Levels? And Nintendo of Japan said, huh. Because the thing was, they were actually in development of another small-known game at the time you may have heard of. And so because of that, what they did was they paused development of Super Mario Bros. 3 and pulled over their core development team, which included Miyamoto and Kensuke Tanabe, over to the development of this and said, okay, let's turn this finished product we have, Doki Doki, into a Mario Bros. 2. The reason I'm emphasizing this is, as Rax just said in chat, this isn't just a reskin. They changed mechanics, they changed physics, they changed enemies, they changed patterns, they changed level designs, they changed graphics. This is a fairly substantial change. Again, I'm not going to list the whole list. It's several pages long. There is a fairly large amount of changes. And the reason I keep emphasizing this, though, is because, A, this isn't Doki Doki Panic. I know that's the dumb joke, and I'm just going to shoot Valerian really quick for that. But this is not Doki Doki Panic. It always irritates me just a little bit when people do the typical joke about that. Because, no, this is Super Mario Bros. 2. Actual work and effort was put into this game, and I think that deserves recognition, especially since this was the Mario team anyways. The original Doki Doki Panic, the actual Doki Doki Panic, was made by the core Mario team. Just point that out. Just kind of important. But honestly, no, Ross, because the original Doki Doki Panic is a worse game and kind of a dumb game, and as Valerian just pointed out, you have to go through it several times, which is just kind of ghost and goblinsy, and so no thank you. Anyways, I'd probably veto that, especially since I'm not sure if I can get a hold of a legal copy of it. So, okay, cool. They've done it, they've put it together, and they've called it Super Mario Bros. 2. They went ahead and they pushed this out here and released it into the States. Now, how many of you have actually... well, hang on, let me rewind a second. Before I talk about that, the reason I make this distinguishment is because I speak English, but also because they themselves have effectively made this distinguishment for me. There's Super Mario Bros. 2, that's the game we're playing, and then there's Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels. These are two very different games. These are two very different things. And they're branded as such, and I will recite them as such because that's what they are. One moment, please. Well, that sounds like fun, period. Have you had a chance to poke at the Kindle yet? Question mark. Sorry, Mum's timing is wonderful as always. Okay, how many of you remember when Super Mario Bros. 2 came out in the States? I suppose I should raise my hand on this, because I obviously do. By this point in time, I already had an NES. And, I was already a video gamer. I had already pretty much realized just how much video games were going to be a part of my life. I can even tell you where I was living at the time. The reason I bring this up, I'm not trying to do an, oh, I'm old and terrible. The reason I'm bringing this up is because here it is, 1988. Super Mario Bros. 2 come out. And how many of you remember how hard it was to get a hold of a copy of this game? See, you have to understand that at the time, remember, and I mentioned this again, we were still recovering from the video game crash here in the States. So a lot of the actual manufacturers and distributors, that is to say the little stores that sold these things, all bought what we would refer to as a conservative amount of games. So we'll buy some. You know, it's a few thousand, maybe. That sounds okay. Okay, cool. And then they sold out in like a couple of days. Nobody was prepared for how much this was a smash hit. This game effectively is a better selling game than any other any other NES game, with one exception. Now, there's an asterisk attached to that. Even if you count the literal numbers, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth best-selling NES game ever. Just across the board. We've talked sales figures several times before. This game sold 7.46 million copies. Just in the States, by the way. That's just here. Now, you're probably thinking, Lord, what was so different about it? Why did this one explode so much? And also, why are you in my house asking me strange questions? Well, there's a bunch of reasons. Mario 1 obviously was exploding. By the way, if you're wondering the asterisk there, Mario 1 and Duck Hunt and Tetris are better selling. However, that's only because they count bundles. Like my actual NES, I bought and I got Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt with it. So that counts as a sale for both Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. That's why Duck Hunt is the second best-selling NES game of all time. It's a pretty big asterisk. That's why I say it's not. It doesn't count. The only game that actually surpasses this, as far as I'm concerned, that counts, is Mario Brothers 3. But we'll get to that Tuesday. Anyways, so obviously this is so expected with the advantage of hindsight. You know, we look at this, it's like, well, duh, of course it sold well. It's a good game. It's a sequel. It's an Empire Strikes Back sequel. In other words, it's not just Mario 1 again. Super Mario Bros. 2 plays and feels rather differently. And, well, as with many of the games we're going to be discussing over the next week or so, this game is extremely well designed. I'm going to skip over that for the moment. But here's the thing. There are two really big factors for why this game sold so damned well. Reason number one, Nintendo Power. Some of you may remember that Nintendo Power got its start with this game. The very first issue was a cover and a spread with it right on the front page of Super Mario Bros. 2. And Nintendo Power was another one of those exploded things. Nintendo Power was actually really popular for about 5 or 6 years or so there. And just about any game that got showcased in Nintendo Power consistently sold well in the States. This is not presumption. This is universal fact. We have figures to back this up. So anything that was put into Nintendo Power sold. Nintendo Power was kind of sold alongside this. So that's another marketing boost. But there is one other reason. And it's a really simple reason. And it's one I've already discussed. This is the other reason. Let me get that so you can't see the glare. This is the other reason right here why Super Mario Bros. 2 sold well. Because it looked like this. It seems simple, but it's a very bright, colorful, attention-grabbing, well-designed cover. And a lot of people, a lot of kids looked at that and said, that's the one I want. And again, this is not presumption. So, and this goes back to the whole Mega Man 1, Mega Man 2 thing we've talked about before. Now, how did I get a copy? Well, I got piss lucky. God, 1985. What I ended up doing was this is not my original copy. As I've already mentioned, I only kept 4 of my original NES games. So this is a rebuy to fill out my collection. But yeah, what happened in my case was there was a rental place, literally in walking distance. And when I say walking distance, I mean it was like a five-minute walk. It was right there. And I used to roll up to that rental place whenever I visit my dad and rent some NES games. This was one of those rare rental places that let you buy the games after you rent them. You remember that? Real question, because even people who remember renting games might not have encountered one that does that. So I rented Super Mario Bros. 2. I liked it, and I said, hey, I'd like to buy it. And that's not what happened. I said, Dad, this is a great game. And Dad went over and bought it, and here we are. So, with all that, we were ready to go with this game. There's a huge number. Your guess is as good as mine on that one, Hazardous. I don't have an answer to that question. I could say the word incompetence or stupidity, but honestly, all I would be doing is making stuff up because the answer is I don't know. All I know is that nobody anticipated it. There's actually documentaries that talk about how hard to find this game was. It's funny. Now, there's a decent chance you'll see me game over a few times. We might throw up the cheat flag just to avoid replaying the game. We'll see. But for now, before we actually start the game, I know I don't like to do this normally, but I happen to have a PDF of the instruction booklet. Unfortunately, I don't still have my original instruction booklet. I do still have my original Mario Bros. 3 one, like I just showed off here. I was one of those dorcases who liked these instruction booklets. Now, if you were paying attention just now, I had a rental copy, which means no box and no instruction manual. However, I've always kind of been an economics kid, and I managed to wheel and deal and bargain with some of the kids at my school to purchase the Super Mario Bros. 2 instruction booklet from one of the kids who had one. One evening, Mario had a strange dream. He dreamed of a long, long stairway leading up to a door. As soon as the door opened, he was confronted with a world he had never seen before, spreading out as far as his eyes could see. When he strained his ears to listen, he heard a faint voice saying, "Welcome to Subcon, the land of dreams. We have been cursed by Wart, and we are completely under his evil spell. We've been awaiting your arrival. Please defeat Wart and return Subcon to its natural state. The curse Wart put you on here in the real world will not have any effect on you here. Remember, Wart hates vegetables. Please help us." The same time this was heard, a bolt of lightning flashed before Mario's eyes. Stunned, Mario lost his footing and tumbled upside down. He awoke to a start to find himself in his bed. To clear his head, Mario talked to Luigi, Toad, and Princess about the strange dream he had. Of course, it would be Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Princess. Those were the only 4 characters established in Mario 1. They decided to go to a nearby mountain for a picnic. After arriving at the picnic area and looking at the scenery, they saw a small cave. When they entered the cave, to their great surprise, there was a stairway leading up, up, up. It is exactly like the one Mario saw in his dream. They all walk together up the stair and find the top a door, just like the one in Mario's dream. When Mario and his friends, in fear, opened the door, to their surprise, the world they saw in his dream spread out before them. Mario RPG, Triaxia. So, then it has some stuff. Here's how the selection works. And it shows, here's the 4 characters you can play as. It also shows the stages and the levels, and it's all sorts of stuff that is so kind of silly nowadays. But it's for people who had never really played a video game before, so we're going to skip over some of these. However, this is when Mario Bros. 2 really starts to distinguish itself. Know the difference between the characters, and there's actually visuals here. Each character has a different jumping power. Mario can jump average, but his height decreases only a little when he's carrying an item. Luigi can jump the highest, but when he has an item, his jump decreases substantially. Toad has the least jump, but his height doesn't decrease at all when he's carrying an item. And Princess Peach doesn't have a very good height, and her height decreases quite a lot when she's carrying an item. However, she can hover. And it shows, there's actually a screenshot literally showing their heights at the same spot. It's very well done. Shows their running speed. Toad is the fastest, Mario the second, Luigi third, Princess fourth. Speed in picking up things. Once again, same order. Toad, Mario, Luigi, Princess. It showcases all this stuff as they go through here, and the heart meter, and the lives, and all sorts of fun other stuff. How to jump, how to run, how to throw straight down, how to throw at a distance. All kinds of cool stuff. But then we're going to skip forward to the enemies. Now, some of this information isn't canon and hasn't been for a while, but there's a little bio by each enemy. The Shy Guys, Red, a member of the 8 Bits, which is a club from the Evil Dreams. He wears a mask because he's shy. Then there's Shy Guy Pink, who moves back and forth on hills. You got to avoid him. Then there's Tweeter. He's a bird with a mask and hops, so you got to try to get on his head. Then there's the Red Sniffet, another member of the 8 Bits. He wears a mask and spits bullets made of evil dreams from his mouth. The Sniffet Gray also jumps before spitting his bullets. You have to learn the timing there. And then the Sniffet Pink moves back and forth. Then we have Ninja 1, who appears in the dreams of NES players. He moves fast and persistently chases you. Ninja 2 stays in one spot and jumps repeatedly. He's a strange guy. Then we have the Bezo. He attacks by diving at you. He looks a lot like a Shy Guy, but with wings. Then there's the pink Bezo, who attacks straight at you. You have to be calm and move around him carefully. Hoopster is a creature about the size of a basketball. He resembles a ladybug. He climbs up and down vines. Then there's Fanto. Now, he's normally at rest. He waits by the keys, but if you take a key, he's going to pursue you. Trouter is a fish which lives in the world of dreams. You'll find him in the waterfalls and rivers. He likes to interfere with Mario. A Porcupo who has a body covered entirely with spines, so you can actually climb on his back. Be careful of that. Then we have Bob-ombs. Quick side note, if you're paying attention, this game actually introduces several regular elements that will be taken into the future. The concept of Luigi being a good jumper, Peach floating, and Toad being fast all starts out with this. This is when that all began, as far as concepts within the franchise. This is also when we first see Bob-ombs and Birdo, which is actually listed incorrectly in the manual, and Shy Guys, and a couple other things like Sniffets would come back, Phantos would come back, but those are the big ones. Funny thing, Wart, despite being the major villain of this game, only shows up in Dream games of the future. I pointed this out in Link's Awakening, which is actually hysterical. Anyways, rewinding a second. So, Bob-ombs! Bob-ombs have a terrible temper, and when they get angry, they explode. Albatrosses used to be only a resident in the world of dreams, but now, by the order of Wart, they carry the Bob-ombs into battle. Pidgeot brings evil dreams. He can't fly on his own, so Wart gave him a flying carpet. Cobrat usually sleeps in a jar. It moves on Wart's command, often appearing in the dreams of Toad specifically. Panzer was the only plant life Wart created for the world of dreams, and sprouts fire. Ostro serves as a means of transportation in the world of dreams, as Shy Guys usually ride him. Pokey, another recurring character, is a walking cactus. Its entire body, except for its head, is covered in thorns, and the thorns will hurt if you touch them, because that's how that works. There's also Autobomb, a Shy Guy's favorite ride. It's referred to as the Bad Dream Machine. Flurry is a snow monster. He'll chase you on ice skates, and Spark shines and moves in circular motions around walls and floors. Then there's Birdo. He thinks he's a girl and spits eggs from his mouth. He'd rather be called Birdetta. Now, I'm not going to comment on that, but since then, that has since been retconned to the fact that Birdo is actually referring to the species, and there's just multiple Birdos, some of which are male and some of which are female. Mouser is a bomber of bad dreams that destroys good dreams. They're proud and don't believe they're just a mouse. Fry Guy. Wart gave life to an entity created straight from fire. He spits fireballs when he's angry. Clawgrip grows suddenly and is surprisingly skilled at throwing rocks. Triclide was once an outsider, but now he's one of Wart's helpers since he impressed Wart with his cunning, brain, and offensive capabilities, which are 3 times normal since, 3 heads. And finally, we have Wart, the only character who doesn't have an in-game sprite. He is the most mischievous of all the world of dreams and created monsters by playing with the Dream Machine. And that's the manual. And I just wanted to share that with you because I thought that was neat, and I'm a total loser. So let's talk about the game proper. Now, all that's in the manual, so that doesn't count for the review. It does count for the review. When Mario opened a door after climbing a long stair, hey, this sounds familiar, another world spread before him. After awakening, Mario went to a cave nearby, and to his surprise, he saw exactly what he saw in his dream. Push start. Who should we play as first? Hi, Elizar. Thank you for the sub, as always. Much appreciate. If you know what you want to put that towards, please let me know. Sonic Adventure, you got it. So I heard Luigi first. But notice how, right off the bat, let me just pause there for a second. Right off the bat, the game does something very right. Please select character. And all of them have a different color palette, so they're distinguished. And all of them look kind of different. Obviously, this is actually when Luigi kind of changed for that. And we've got the theater curtains, so that's kind of cool. But more to the point, and the really relevant part, is even at a glance, someone who's new to gaming kind of gets the idea of, oh, well, I could play as whoever. So, plus to intro for this screen, and I mean that. First thing that happens is we are spawned in an area which we cannot recover from. So we are forced to drop. What does that do? It immediately gets across the idea of vertical scrolling. Please remember, vertical scrolling was pretty rare back in the day. I'm not even sure if Metroid had come out at this point in time. So players who are, video game players at this time who are very used to left and right stuff, are now told, literally just by watching the intro, we know that we can go vertical. Is that already on the list, Elizar? Because if it's not, then what's your backup option? So, first thing we see is the vertical scroll. Now we're left on this platform. Well, there's literally nothing to do but to fall. Now, it's pretty easy to see the screen wrapping, which would become a regular feature of the game. And now, just by playing around with it, we now understand how the screen wrapping works. Awesome. But then there's an enemy here. Now, you've probably played Mario Brothers before doing this, right? So, what do you do in a Mario Brothers game? So you jump on his head. Then this happens. That's weird. Now what do I do? Well, another thing that's true about Mario games is most people are conditioned to hold down the run button while doing. If you hit the run button while you happen to have jumped on someone, you pick him up. There's two enemies right next to each other, so it's not a further step to do... Well, hang on, I screwed it up because I'm playing Luigi and his jump arc, or his throw arc is weird. Give me on. God, you had to make me play Luigi. Ah! Okay, whatever. It's possible to throw him and kill the other guy, but whatever, I'm just gonna throw him down. Go away. Now, this isn't super well tutorialized yet, but nevertheless, what we have right here is once again classic Nintendo excellent design. Verticality, jumping on, grabbing, wrapping. All of this is exposited very quickly and efficiently just by the level design. So, there's also no timer, by the way. Now they start throwing enemies at you that are actually going to run into you, but by now we know how to jump on them and grab them. Cool. Now, even if you don't look at the manual, because you rented this game and have no idea about that, now that we know that B picks things up, what's the first thing you do? Well, I don't know about you, but the first thing I do is I went to the tree and see if I could pick it up. Sadly, you cannot pick up the trees. The second thing I did was pick that up. And that led to my playstyle in this game, which could boil down to, I need to pick everything up. Can I pick this up? No. Okay. Can I pick this up? No. And I just went through pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up, pick up. Now, that also, notice the first one, the one you're most likely to pick up first, I screwed this up, is that one. Huh, that's weird. What's that do? You see my point? This is what I praise so much about Nintendo game design, and why I just gush about it. Just by the way they've designed the stages and the flow of it, we can get all that we need to know in order to be able to play this game. And it is, frankly, brilliant. Notice how we're not even done yet. That's another thing we can pick up and throw. Then a heart shows up. There's also a cherry there. That's interesting. Hearts show up after you defeat, I think it's 5 enemies in a row. I forget the exact number. God, Luigi's squirrely. So we keep picking up, and we keep picking up. We've got to keep picking up. At some point in time, we'll probably, just by sheer happenstance, come into a situation where we throw something at them. And, well, this is interesting. What's this? Now, notice this is a very easy jumping puzzle. The logs move very slowly. They're in a pattern, so you always have the ability to jump up to the next one. And it's actually not that hard to literally just make this jump. You can just do that. And even if you fail, when you're jumping left to right, which is your initial thing, you'll fall down here because there's a place to catch you. So even if you're not comfortable with the logs, you are probably going to make this jump because there's a recovery area just to catch you. Now, I don't think anything tutorializes this. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then we have that. In fact, we can get 1-ups. We also get this, which acts exactly like it did back in Mario Bros. 1. Now, One of the other things we notice, which is, again, very different from Mario Bros. 1, right off of the bat, is that we can go left and right. There is such a thing as point of no returns in this game, but they're more like zone lines or loading screens, rather than just you go right, and therefore you're prevented from going left. Now, this would be the norm going forwards, but again, this is the kind of thing that needs to be showcased to people, especially people who are just used to Mario Bros. 1. Now, as Luigi, this is the benefit of Luigi right here. We can actually skip an entire portion of the level, because he's Luigi. His jumps are huge. Especially if you do that, and especially if you do that. Let's go and jump down. There's so much skipping you can do in this game with Luigi, Toad, and Peach. But anyways, so we're going to pause for a moment. We have 3 lives and 2 continues, not that it tells you that. We are going to grab a safety save just in case. And we're going to give some positives, because this is fantastic level design. And absolutely deserves the plus for just doing everything right here. Yeah, this is... I've talked about this before. This is something we're going to be praising in Mario 2, Mario 3, and Mario World. All of these, there is... Yeah, but it doesn't tell us our continues, Pyro. We have 2 continues. This is what Nintendo does this so well. This is in-game tutorialization. It's amazing to me how many games fail at this, or just have a pop-up that just whoop. By all means, Pyro, point out to the point on the screen where it tells me how many continues I have. I'll wait. I'm probably only going to give 1 gameplay positive tutorialization. But that's probably at least partially because of how much better other games do it, like the games we'll be covering in a minute. So hold on. So this doesn't count for cheating. We're going to do something real quick here, just to make sure I'm not a complete idiot. What's the quickest way to do that? I guess that'd be over here. Oh yeah, load screens are also checkpoints for the most part. Not always, but sometimes. But yes, Mario is supposed to be balanced, which makes him the least interesting or useful to play as, but whatever. Toad is the speedrunner's choice. Peach is the other choice for people who have trouble with squirrely controls. That's me, by the way. I'll probably be playing as Peach if I encounter a difficult section. So, we have 2 continues. Nothing in the game showed that we have 2 continues. Now, why is this relevant? So the continue, retry is kind of a misnomer. What retry means is start over. But if you hit continue, what happens is you start over at the beginning of the world you just started at. So if we were to hit continue, we start over in 1-1. So if we were in 1-3, we go back to 1-1, right? That's how continues work. So, that's what I meant when the game doesn't show you how many continues. Now, the other reason this is relevant, other than the fact that it obviously, it starts you over at the beginning of the world, is if you run out of continues, you actually game over and you have to start the game all over again. So, we'll go ahead and do the stage properly, pretending we're not playing Luigi. Notice how twice now they've tried to tutorialize the idea of going up. Now, what's interesting about this is it's like, well, that's interesting, but hang on. What's this over here? Elizar, you can literally see my nest. It's right there. Actually, I guess you can't see it on the current camera. My bad. Come on. Now, this is kind of amusing to me, honestly. I'm going to go ahead and show this off. Here, we'll do this. We'll show it off, and then we'll undo it. So, go away. My timing is terrible, as usual. And I can actually make that happen, but I don't think I'm going to try. I mean, everybody knows what this is. It's a shortcut. This is kind of the equivalent... Oh, I'm saying this wrong. So there are little things and shortcuts and stuff that are going into here. Yes, exactly, Elizar. There are multiple shortcuts and multiple routes through several of the stages in this game, which is kind of cool. We're not doing that again, because that just goes straight to the boss. So we'll go do the stage normally to show off what they do with this here. Also, while this is very simple, I will say that this is probably superior in many ways to Mega Man 2 in terms of sprite work. Mostly because of very careful usage of what they have. Notice that the ninja here aren't actually obstacles in the strictest sense of the word. Oh, they'll hurt if we run into them. But they're actually here to assist with the jumping, because once again, they want to tutorialize the idea of jumping. The mere fact that they're jumping kind of inclines us to jump up to get on top of them, if nothing else to throw them, which then makes the screen ramp, which then makes us go up. They're going to be tutorialing until, and I wrote it down, stage 4-1 is specifically when they stop tutorializing in this game. After that, it's all escalation. This is not a Metroidvania. And arguably, there is no such thing as a Mario Metroidvania, unless you call it Odyssey, which I totally don't. So, this whole stage, they've been tutorializing the ideas of jumping on things, picking up things, throwing things, right? However, we get here, there's nothing to pick up. So we try to jump on Birdo, can't pick up Birdo. So the idea, what I'm trying to say is that simply by the existence of the fact that there's nothing here, except for the very projectiles the enemy throws, means that after a minute or so of playing with this, we're inclined to get across the idea of we need to pick up the eggs and throw them back at them. I never get into that. So, someone other than Luigi. Of course, you'd pick Toad for this stage. What's ironic is this is the perfect stage for Luigi. Whoops! Oh god, wow, okay. Toad! Ah, yeah, this is gonna suck. Okay, hang on. Ugh, okay. So, first thing we see is an enemy. By sheer nature of his arc, we are inclined and likely to be able to jump on him and do that. Toad is legitimately awful for this stage. Luigi is the best pick for this stage, but let's not go into that. Neither, Elizar. Birdo is just a species. Huh. Hey. Notice those are per stage. Exactly, Elizar. So, well, that's this. And you see how it's still introducing concepts, by the way. In fact, enemies will keep being introduced about once per stage until about the aforementioned stage 4-1. Oh, cool. A 1-up. I like 1-ups. I mean, Yoshi. He's right there on my... Again, you can't see him, but there's a Yoshi on my screen. Oh, hey. Well, I thought this was an enemy, but obviously it's not. I'll just stand here and pick... Oh my god, it's moving! Ah! Now, actually, in all sincerity, I didn't realize at first that throwing the key would get rid of Fanto, so I was just like, oh god! And I just started doing, you know, this, and going, oh god, I gotta dodge him! I gotta dodge him! Until I saw the key door, and then, ah, there! I'm safe, I'm safe. Okay, okay, we're okay, we're okay. Shoot, I can't make that jump. Oh, whatever. Oh, it's a bomb. Oh, God. Actually, what happened was I saw it flashing, and I threw it in a panic. I was like, oh, God, it's flashing. No. Let's see if there's anything up here. All right, real talk. How many of you, when you're playing this game, used to make it a game of bombing every single one of these bricks? Not now. Elizar. Boop. Just for fun. Just for the heck of it. Ah! I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. That's true, Pyro. That's a valid point. Almost everything, unlike the game we just played, pretty much every element of gameplay that exists in Mario 2 is tutorialized to some extent or another. So, okay, we're not going to bomb all of them. I'm not going to bore you with that. So, how do we get past this? Well, we do that, obviously. Oh, it didn't work. There we go. Ah! Hang on. We can figure this out. It's cool. We got this. We got this. Jump! No, they didn't. Oh, hey, I made it. Holy crap. Toad's jumps are pretty short. You can make that jump pretty easily with anybody but Toad. But you see how even your route kind of changes a little bit based on who you're playing. Now, so I'm actually going to show this off. Hang on, even though I shouldn't, because I'm going to die for doing this. This tutorializes the idea that you shouldn't always put the potion down where you find it, right? It's like, oh, shoot. Well, you should put it down is over here. Or there's actually a third place you can put it down. But whatever, let's move on. Another Birdo, okay. Now, really minor point, but notice the platform he's on is smaller. Now, that's important because it's not deadly. You know, if we're down here, it's not the end of the world. It's like, okay, whatever. But what it is less room to do that. Every Birdo encounter we have, up to, I forget when exactly, is going to be slightly different because of the terrain and because the Birdos themselves. There's like a trick to this, I don't remember it. So, someone other than Mario and Peach. I'm sorry, Luigi or Peach. Someone other than Luigi and Toad. Completely inverted that. I'm an idiot. Here's the person I know the least when it comes to playing this game. If on the off chance you somehow haven't figured out the going left thing, this is officially the going left moment. Here, you can go left. No. Really, Disco? Wow, I never heard about that. Notice, once again, we see escalation in action. Sorry, I really should be going through this a little bit slower. I know this game kind of well. Once again, we have platforms to help as recovery mechanics, but it's less steady. It's not like there's a nice big platform underneath us, which we're likely to run into, and there's 3 instead of 2. I hate to keep pointing this out, but the escalation and the tutorialization of this game are some of the better features of it. Because it has several other problems with it, which we won't talk about right now. Now, whoa! Let's not bug out the terrain. Hang on, hang on. Just gonna watch that go away. So we're gonna save state really quick, because I want to show something off. So, warp pipes are in this game, but they're a little more hidden than they were back in Mario Bros. 1. Rather than just trying to find a secret route, you have to actually know that. There is, to my knowledge, nothing, question mark, that actually tutorializes that warp pipes are in this game. Oh, and again, this is for 1, aka the last tutorial level. Everything after this is just escalation. It tutorializes ice, and these little guys. But again, we're not actually doing this. So we're going to rewind here. Now we're going to do what a normal player would do. Kwong! Gonna get all these things. Oh yeah, let's get those precious coins. There's a new figurine out I need to buy. I wonder what this pipe is here for. Oh well. Okay, hang on. That's actually a little dangerous. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. So we're going to save state for just a moment. Pause. So there's a couple pluses I want to give out pretty much right off the bat. No, Von Falkenstein. I mean, I have negative interest in that game, so I'm not really going to do it good. So, visual distinction is really big in this game. I'm going to jot that down as a potential. Visual distinction is exactly what it sounds like. Can you see what you're doing and what you're supposed to do at all times? Which, yeah, no, this is a Mario game. It's probably going to get that one. Again, I want to mention the levels themselves, but at the same time, I'm not sure how much we should give out individual positives for individual levels, because most of what we're seeing is escalation. This actually would sit under difficulty curve, which is pretty smooth by memory, but we'll see what we think of that going forwards. There is a bit of visual storytelling, but we're not actually there yet, so I can't judge that. I'm going to jot that down as a potential for eventually. Question mark. The music in this game is one I really want to debate with you. So, Super Mario Bros. 1 had some issues with regards to music. We actually mentioned this when we were reviewing Super Mario Bros. 1, because Super Mario Bros. 1 effectively has one song. It literally had 3, but there was only one song that you normally heard, the Mario theme. Now, a tremendous amount of thought and effort and work was put into the Mario theme, but the fact of the matter was, it was just the one song. Second, there we go. In this game, I think there's, hang on, 1, 2, 5 songs, I want to say. And of those, only 2 are actually substantial. The Mario 2 song, which we've already heard, and the ending song. Everything else is either a really short loop, which is only intended to be played for a short area, or that's it, there's nothing else. So we did actually give A+ to Mario 1 for the song in Mario 1 because of how well designed it was. So what I want you to be thinking as we're going through this, you don't have to say this right now, but I want you to be thinking, does the Mario 2 song deserve a similar plus? I'm going to jot that down as a question mark here as well. Because, again, there's really just the song. There's a couple of, like, okay, here, let me explain what I mean. This song right here, listen to this. "12 seconds. That's a 12-second loop. So, if you're a new player playing this game for the first time, you're probably thinking, what do I do? Well, obviously I go down. And the screen starts going down. Okay, well, let's see what's down here. Oh, there's a locked door. Okay. So, we already know how to climb stuff. That's already been showcased to us. I'm sorry, Ross. I understand. I don't... What's the difference the Pro Controller does? I'm curious, because several people mentioned it too. This is after... This is before 3, which I know sounds weird, but 3 is technically 1. So, this is debatably the first game in the Mario timeline, is really what that boils down to. Anyway, so it's okay. Okay. Oh no, insta-kill spikes. Except they're not. See? I really shouldn't have shown that off, but I did at least want to showcase the fact that they don't instantly kill you. There is instant death in this game, but it's just pits, just like it is in, most Mario games. Now, I'm probably not showing this off properly. There is one thing literally one thing I don't like about this game, and it's probably going to be negative territory. It's hard to explain in words, but with this engine, this game is squirrely as all get out. Anybody who's played this game knows exactly what I mean by that. This game is like playing on ice skates, and even in the air, you are just... That's one of the reasons I play as Peach, mainly, because Peach offers you a degree of control for what you're doing. So yeah, the squiggity is real. Let's just use my own terminology here. And yeah, Luigi has that even more. You're absolutely right. By the way, oh god! Just to point it out, I need to stop dying while trying to show off stuff. Just to point it out, this is the remnant of that original Mario 2 idea, the picking up blocks and using them to reach a new vertical space. Whoa, god! Don't mind me, Mr. Shy Guy. You just stay there. Well, I sure hope so, Zach Taft, because if I'm not, then nothing will change at all. So anyways, This is a new option, so we can do this and have a charged jump. Mario's pretty average. I look forward to not playing as him again. In the interests of not gaming over and repeating myself and not using a save state, I am probably going to just start using Peach from now on, so I'm kind of glad you picked Peach last. So, we've already kind of seen how this works thanks to the optional thing earlier. Now we have to do this mandatorily. And if we went down first, which we are likely to do, we know immediately what we're doing. There are, of course, 2 routes down and up. Yes, this is definitely the one with Dementio. And Gino, I think, is in this one, too. Something like that. Notice how they very carefully use enemies to try and challenge us as we're falling, but not in a big way, because, again, this is still relatively early on, so this is still kind of in tutorial land. That's true, Pyro, and that's a valid point. Especially since we just finished doing a massive, vertical section, which is, like you say, is all about going up and down, and now it's like, oh, hey, well, those are death pits underneath me right there. I know this because I know this game, but I am pretty sure, in fact, I'm almost positive there have been a few times when I played this game for the first time, and I was like, oh, what's down here? And you just die, because it was just a death pit. Some later games, like the Shantae games, is a good example, would later introduce the concept of adding a graphic specifically to the death pits. Like there's a little skull and bones kind of effect going on, so you have at least an idea of what you're looking at. So this is the tutorialization of the catch mechanic, which I'm pretty sure is only useful for the Mouser fights. Well, I guess that's not true. You can use it on the Clogger fight, too. You can also just pick them up like that. Oh, that's true. It's good for Wart as well. I forgot about that. I guess I'll go through the door. I guess. Wario or Waluigi? Waluigi. So, we're playing Peach for the rest of the game. I'm just gonna tell you that. Yes and no, Shihali, as Mario 3 will show, that's not 100% true. The real catch there is that most players, especially people playing this for their first time, probably have no idea about that, so... Anyways. What the hell? I just got an email. Dear the Lore Runner, thanks for playing Metroid Dread. It's from Nintendo. All Mario games are short, except for Mario Odyssey, which is like a 40-hour game. Oh, I have no idea, Zactap. They're not even funded yet. And they won't be for months. So that's probably your answer. Months! No, absolutely. I agree, Dr. Winter. It is worth noting, again... See you around, Elizar. Have a good sleep. It is worth noting that, again, they were working on Super Mario Bros. 3 when they were making Super Mario Bros. 2. Not when they were making Doki Doki Panic. When they were making this game, the game we're currently playing. Oh, side note. I'm sorry, I didn't mention this earlier. This game sold so well in the States that they actually made a Japanese version of this game to come out in Japan, which they called Super Mario Bros. 2 USA. Sorry. Or Super Mario Bros. USA. Sorry, Zactaft really confused me there. No, they're not, Zactaft. The closest one is Tour Jedi Knight, which is close to 75% funded right now. Anyways, sorry. Okay, so, potential negatives. Death pits, and we need to talk about penalty for failure as a question mark. Because, as I showcased earlier, this game, well, it's a NES game. Doesn't make it acceptable, but it was fairly normal at the time to punish you for dying with start the whole game all over again. Actually, I have to think about. I know there's NES games that didn't do that. I'd have to think about which. I guess there's the Mega Mans while I'm thinking about it. Could you do me a favor and put that to something else, Dr. Winter? because you've already put money towards Jedi Knight. So if you want to put it towards, say, Bounty Hunter, which is the next one we're funding, that'd be awesome. But you don't have to. Right, controls. Controls. Yeah. Yeah, Knight is funded. There's plenty of money put towards Knight. It just needs people, and that's something I will assign, and I haven't done it yet because, frankly, we've got months of content in the queue, and I don't want the queue to be any larger. If I have to fund it just so people stop donating towards it, I will, and I'll just bury it at the bottom of the queue for someday. It's not anytime soon. It's not going to happen this year, I'll guarantee you that. We're halfway through November, for God's sakes. So yeah, I'm definitely giving a codified absolute negative for the controls. The squiggity is just so bad in this game. And most of my deaths are going to come down to the squiggity. Whoops. Hang on. What did Nintendo say? Thanks for playing our game! It was an automated email, Pika. Put it towards Bounty Hunter, Dr. Winter. In fact, I'm just going to do it. I'm taking the agency away from you. Bounty Hunter. There you go. Done. Now, I'm going to put the penalty for failing the death pitch thing as a question mark, and we'll debate that. Honestly, I'm not sure this game is going to get any other visual, that is to say, story pluses. However, whether or not it gets visual continuity is going to depend a lot on stages like this one. Because this is where we actually start to see, you know, this kind of storytelling in the background with the stars and the pyramids and the sand. That's weird. Ah! Oh, a shell. Huh. I remember shells. Aw, they don't do anything. And that's the first thing I did. I'm showing off a lot of what I remember doing the first time I played this game, because... So, I should show off Peach, of course. Peach has the hover. But her hover's kind of interesting. It works differently than in, I think, every other Mario game. The way her hover works is she has one hover per jump cycle. So every time she touches ground, she can refresh her hover. If she tries to hover twice in the air, it doesn't work. The reason that's relevant is because you can hold the hover for 1.5 seconds, or you can hold it for less than 1.5, but if you let it go, you lose it, period. It's gone, okay? Now, that being stated... Stop it! I'm trying to show something off. That being stated, you can start the hover at any point in the jump cycle. At any height. So, this is, in short, a recovery mechanic. It allows you to be able to do things like, oh god, I'm about to fall in this pit, and make that jump, like I just did. It also means, in terms of painted area, which I talk about a lot when it comes to platforming, Peach's horizontal painted area is actually gargantuan. Far more so than most other characters are. Because she can do huge horizontal jumps in the air. I think only Luigi can surpass this, and even that requires a full running jump in order to do. So, how many of you did this when you used to play this game? I am probably a total weirdo, but I know I'm not alone in this one, because I used to do this all the time. Yeah, there's just something sad. It's cutting the grass. Oh yeah, by the way. My niece, who is 9, for reference, who has never played a Zelda game before, recently started Link's Awakening, the Switch version. Would you like to know one of the first things she did in that game? Because you already know the answer to this question. Didn't we already review Jack 1? Yeah, exactly, Delbach. She immediately would rush out and start cutting the grass. And she just stayed in town cutting all the grass over and over and over. And I was just sitting there smiling. So, in addition to obvious amusement, there is a legitimate danger to doing what I was just doing. And that demonstrates it perfectly right there. Yep, like that. Now, see, I knew that was coming, of course, but you notice how, once again, it is designed so that it's very likely that that's going to happen, especially if you go straight down, like I was just doing. So, once again, getting across the idea of tutorialization and escalation. Speaking of escalation, this is our first Birdo over a pit. Notice the area is back to being large, so we have a little bit of comfort zone. Whoop, and a little bit of screw-up. We have a little bit of comfort zone in terms of maneuverability. I mean, she does play Minecraft a lot, so she probably got that from that silly idea. She's more up on Minecraft than I am. Of course, I don't play Minecraft, so I guess it's not hard. But yeah, this hover is why Peach has the worst stats across the board. Slowest speed, worst jump reduction while holding an item, and worst speed reduction when it comes to holding something. I almost never get extra lives out of this stupid thing. There's probably a way to do it. I don't know it. Oh, gotcha, silly idiot. Listen, this is a little bit before... Switching tones. This is a little bit before Minecraft, okay? Oh yeah, funny little thing. Of all of the things they changed for this game, when they made this into Super Mario Bros. 2, my personal favorite is they added a run button. Now, obviously they did changes to some of the levels in order to accommodate, but I want you to picture for a moment playing Mario Bros. 2 without a run button. Just picture it. I'll picture any Mario game without a run button. Although I think there is a walk % category when it comes to Mario World. Interesting thing about the red Shy Guys, they always home in on you. Whether they're above you or below you, they will always try to head in your direction. Oh, what's it here? No! No! There we go. Yeah, I needed that. Oh no, I'm stuck. And we're there. Oh, sorry, what games are in the Mario block? Mario 2, Mario 3, Mario World. Aw, sometimes I can make that ricochet. Or that bounce, rather. That's not a ricochet. Use your words right, Laura. So we've shown off exactly how this digging mechanic works. Now we're going to give you an enemy right off the bat. This game needs at least 1+ for level design for the escalation it does, because it does it brilliantly at almost every stage. It's not just the fact that there's a different scaling and style to this. There's the fact that, you know, this is slowly increasing our Shy Guy problem. It also leaves cherries here and there, on the off chance that you happen to be close enough to a star to be able to actually get rid of them. Otherwise, you're stuck with a slowly increasing pile of Shy Guys. That was actually on me. I can't believe I screwed that up. Boop. So let's go ahead and deal with that. Oh gosh, there's a bunch of enemies over there. I should go left. I'd love to play Yoshi's Island. Are you kidding me? It's a great game. Yep. Oh, there's nothing on the left side. Okay, well, I guess we'll go right then. Need to be a little careful. Those ricocheting bullets can hit us. Oh, yep. That's on me. Come on. God damn it. Okay. Apparently I just suck today. Don't mind me. I'm okay with putting up the cheat flag for Mario 2. That doesn't bother me. To be blunt. I like this game, but... well, there's a reason there's a potential negative for penalty for failure jotted down there. Other strategy, by the way. I don't think it's even on the list, Pika, but it is most assuredly not funded, so no, I'm not. I'm not just killing because it's fun to kill, although it is very fun to kill. I'm not gonna go for it. I'm not gonna go for it. No, Princess Peach segments actually come from Paper Mario, specifically. We're just gonna be nice and patient. Let him get out of here. I'm not gonna use the cheat flag for Mario 3. I don't need the cheat flag for Mario 3. You can call that arrogance if you want, but it's still true. I'm still being a little cautious because those bullets, I knew they were there. Also 1 health, so let's go. Well, it's a review, Ross, so we're probably going to not use any warp whistles. So, well, this is a problem. So the reason they give us these, and you notice he's a different color, is he has, I believe, a 1 in 8 chance of shooting a fireball instead. So they make sure we have something just in case he doesn't shoot. But you'll also notice his attack pattern is different. Now, it's kind of offset because he'll never attack when he's off-screen, but... screwed that up. There we go. Okay. Alright, being a little cautious because I'm at 1 health and no lives. Which is funny, because if I die in the next area, we have to do all of that again. Because game overs. I mean, I agree with you, Pyro. Mario 3 is, frankly, a better designed game than this. I used to remember this game more fondly. I don't really know why. I've thought about that for years, and I don't actually have an answer. But for whatever reason, I always have very fond memories of 2. So we actually introduced these characters, these enemies, excuse me, the flying dudes, in an earlier stage, but now we're really showing them off. There we go. And they are relentless whenever you're in one of their spawn areas. You got it, Andiddy. Let me jot that down. Let me pause that to make sure I don't do anything untowards. The Zelda Block. The Zelda Block will have substantially more... That's why this is a mini block. This was originally just going to be Mario 2 and 3, and then someone said, why don't you add Mario World to it? I was like, because nobody donated for it. And someone was like, you could? And I was like, yeah, but like 2 people have put money towards Mario World. Actually, I think I've been processing it ever since I said that, Pyro, and I think I do know exactly why I liked Mario 2, you know, so fondly. Can anyone guess before I say it? No, Justin. It was Colin Peluso and Frieza 2000. I know the 2. We're not going to screw around this time, which means I'm going to fail, of course, because that's usually what happens when I don't screw around. That should be enough. The brickwork's okay. No, the specific reason is, and I swear I didn't time this, it was sand before it was water. I want you to think about the games that were out in the NES in 1988. Just picture that for a moment. It's not what you would call the greatest list of games in the world. While there are NES games that certainly have withstood the test of time, and we reviewed several recently, those were the exceptions. Mario 2 was not that great of a game. It is certainly worse than Mario 3. But Mario 2 was simply better than what else was out at the time. By the way, you can actually pick up the egg after you throw it and hit him with it. It's hard to do. I'm not even going to try. I'm not a speedrunner of this game. I've never even attempted it, honestly. the wrong button there. Did you know I have a website, Dr. Winter, which lists all the upcoming games? In fact, you can type !upcoming into chat and see it. It's pretty cool. I just realized I should probably do a couple things here. There. Nice, Bregman. Yeah, I think I've done that before, because I've played this game a lot. Not sure about that. Yeah, Metroid 1 was a technical marvel, and we'll talk about that whenever we review Metroid 1. As for why the cacti doesn't hurt us, we're just that powerful. That's why we get hit by a bullet and die, but we don't get hit by a cactus and die. It's a very different thing. Actually, when I say that out loud, that doesn't sound all that outlandish, does it? That's the other benefit of Peach. Dodging. Why did I say that? Well, let's get the life. Don't mind me. Of course I am, Disco. Why wouldn't I? I mean, that's actually the game I'm playing right now. Nope. Yep, nope. I knew that was going to happen immediately. Thank you, Ultima Cloud, very much. As always. Final Fantasy XVI Edition is actually a custom mod. It's a player-based mod of FF6. I don't remember what they do with it, to be honest with you. If Valerian is still here, he can answer you that, because he's the one who put it on the list. But that's what it is. But yeah, I have a very common tendency, and anybody who's watched my streams for any period of time knows, where I'll be like, oh yeah, this is X, and then I will immediately prove myself wrong. Don't worry, I suck at Mario games, and I'm comfortable admitting that. So you're gonna see me game over and die several times in this block. I'm just gonna be nice and overt about that. Well, the problem is, platformers are my bag, right? So you probably think, why the heck are you bad at Mario games then, Lore? Well, Mario games have the squiggity, as I'm demonstrating right now. And I'm not good at the squiggity. I'm kind of demonstrating it just by moving right here. You see how far you slide? You see how squirrely you are in the air? I am not good at the squiggity. I never have been. Even when I was a kid, I had this issue. Yeah, me too, Red Letter. I mentioned that earlier. I didn't own that. In fact, I still don't. I suppose I should say own that. What's still left? Oh, nothing, I guess. Oh, well. Cool that it's the option. Die. Or don't die. Don't die is also acceptable. I do not agree with that. Mario 3 is still pretty squiggity. Mario World is not squiggity, though. You're right. They decided, for whatever reason, to just get rid of the squiggity in Mario World, and then bring it immediately back in Mario 64. And basically every Mario game since then. Except Odyssey, I think, didn't have any. The squiggity. The squiggity is that kind of... Hang on. Give me a moment. I'm sucking at a jump, as you do. The squiggity is how slippery you feel when you're moving and you're jumping. So, I call Mega Man games precision platformers, for example. That's because you have such control, precise control over your jumps and how you're jumping. At no point are you like, whoa! It's just, funk, and that's the jump. This is different from commitment platformers like Castlevania, where once you jump, you lose control of your character until the jump has completed. That's a commitment jump. So we've got commitment jumps, precision jumps, and squiggity jumps. And many Mario games are squiggity jumps. Not all of them, obviously. But like I said, I have never actually been good at the squiggity. So, someone pick a number between 1 and 9, including 1 and 9. So I guess pick a number between 0 and 10. I think you're right, Pyro, and I agree. Sunshine had very, very, very small amounts of squiggity. Like, so little that it's barely even noticeable. Okay, so that's 8 and 5. Yeah, Ghosts and Goblins is another example of a commitment jumper. 7. Nope. 2. Nope. Jesus Christ, guys, you're killing me here. I don't remember where it is either, admittedly. It's not 9. It's not 4. Well, it was 6! And now we get nothing. It was literally... I mean, this is still useful. It's just... Wow! Literally the last one. I didn't remember where it was either. So there's no judgment there. I'm just amused by that. Okay, what's a more disappointing sequel? This game or Zelda 2? Well, this game is probably worse than Zelda 2, but I haven't reviewed either game yet, obviously. So I have no idea. That being said, I actually like Zelda 2. We'll see if that's true after I review it. Because Lord knows that opinion can change. Left or right? Oh yeah, this game also introduced me to the concept of crouch jumping. I'm pretty much every Mario game after this has continued with the crouch jumping concept. Left it is. Oh yeah, this one. Thankfully, I'd actually been building up to that. Unthankfully, I timed it wrong. I got one earlier than I should have. I should have gotten it at the next one so I could take out all 3 of these guys. Or all 4 of these guys, excuse me. So, real talk. I mentioned digging out all the sand. One time I actually successfully dug out all the sand. And was trapped because you can't get out. It's okay. When you hit the door, it respawns them. But I remember for a few seconds, I was just like, oh my god! What do I do? Yeah, what's interesting is, I mentioned before that this is the Empire Strikes Back type. What do we decide to call that? Indirect sequel? No, that's not... What do we call that? Because there's 2 types of sequels. There's iteration, and then there's variation. I guess we could just call it that. No, I'm saying that out loud. We came up with a term for that. I can't remember the specifics. Anyways, whatever. This is not an iteration. This is a new game. Empire Strikes Back. As opposed to iteration, which is the same thing but more. Return of the Jedi. I was off count again. By 1 again. It is 5 things, right? Whatever, I guess. Go away. Mario Bros. 3 is an iterative sequel, but it's also very innovative. So it kind of gets away with that. There's nothing wrong with an iterative sequel, that's the thing. So, yeah, there's this fight. There's a couple ways to do this. Here, I'll show off one of the strategies here. Oof, let's just enjoy that frame dropination. There we go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop. It's okay. Okay, I actually put it in the wrong place, apparently. I'm thinking of the wrong fight, I guess. So these block Triclide's shot, so you can use these as a way to just kind of have a shield, like a fort. And then you could fail at your throw because you weren't holding right when you were supposed to be holding right. It's a very important part of the strategy. Hi, Baron. No bonus, because we guessed it last. Oh my god, let's get a safety save in here, because Cord is donating $3.22. So, I've only played a bit of Doki Doki Panic. And I've never beaten it, and that's because in order to beat Doki Doki Planet, for those of you who don't know, you have to beat every single stage as every single character. Oh, dude, Mouser was awesome. Anyone remember the Mario comics that were a very brief feature a while ago? No, Baron. Whoa! Oh, Jesus. Yeah, this game. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just... And now we're in the clouds. So, you know, that's cool. Now I gotta see what Cord donated. Whoa! Ah, thank you, Cord. Very much, as always. Much appreciate. I don't know what I'm putting that towards, but I'll find out in a second. To Tor Bounty Hunter is what you're putting that towards. Interesting idea, Cord. Has it been helping? Like, I wouldn't pick that personally, but I used to do the same thing. As I mentioned, I used to watch movies and learn how to act that way. Yeah, Mouser was in the cartoon, wasn't he? Forgot about that. I wouldn't mind seeing more Wart, but if I had to pick a character who hasn't come back who I want to come back, it would actually be Triclide. I always thought Triclide was cool, and it's an idea that, you know, the Hydra concept, there's a lot you can do with that. I just feel like they could have it, I don't know. Maybe Clawgrip, have a giant crab. What's up? But no, they haven't been back. What's funny is you could have a Triclide with Shy Guy mask on, because he's shy. You know, it's actually... I'm not making that up. That's part of his backstory. Anyways. How do we feel about the variety of playstyle? Do we think that's a plus worthy? Safety, save state. Well, that's a death. Oh yeah, Shy Guys are awesome. I talk a lot about that Mario 4X game I want to make someday. There are two species I have put, excuse me, two factions I have put the most thought into, and one of them is the Shy Guys. Yeah, we're just gonna nope out of that. Although, actually, I think I want something down there, don't I? Yeah, I do, but I don't remember where. Well, let's just guess. Nope. Oh, whatever. Let's get some coins. I don't have time, Baron. I'm sorry. I have put a lot of thought into it. Let's despawn you. Oh, we didn't actually despawn you. Holy crap, that's bad. That's actually really, really, really bad. We're gonna just take a hit. Yep, there's no avoiding that. Yes, that's pretty much the standard pattern we've been using for a while now, Dr. Winter. You can add stuff to the list, but in order to make sure that we don't pause the stream for too long, because that's not only problematic, but people have started complaining about that, just add a follow-up option, which is on the list and therefore already vetted, just in case. It's pretty rare I say no to a game, but it has happened. Like recently, the Killzone trilogy was added, so yeah, that's done. But just in case, we need to have those backups. The Zelda Block, you'll have to give me a moment to tell you what that is. Ugh, thank God. I need at least one up from these frickin' things. The Zelda Block will include, in order, Skyward Sword, Minish Cap, Four Swords Adventures, Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, 1, 2, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, and Breath of the Wild. I mean, it's on the list, Darth Trinius. Bye, Bregman. Whoop! God, you're right. In fact, that's the same sound effect they use in Lolo's Adventure, too, when you shoot the bubble. I mean, kind of Shikor. We will actually be emulating them, because the emulator has a, a microphone button in order to bypass those issues. Which is good, because I actually cannot stream DS games without an emulator now. Because my 3DS capture does not capture 2DS games. Or two DS games. I only found that out pretty recently. That was a fun realization. So this is probably one of the better games in this game. One of the better games in this game. Did you know that I talk for a living? It's probably one of the better stages in this game. It's got 2 paths forwards, and you can kind of mix and match at will, with some exceptions. Or you can just go on one, for the most part. And it's kind of a back and forth sort of a thing. So speaking of sucking, let's just do this. Do this the easy way. I'm very curious how Skyward Sword is going to hold up without having to kill my hands to play it, yes. Now we have a problem. I think I can make this, but give me a second. Nope. Nope, yep, no. Okay, so we're actually, not soft blocked, but we have to go reset here. So we're just gonna do this instead. Hey, we made it. Alright, so, on the other side. Oh, it's... Okay. Yeah, no, I've gotten a lot of people angry in my career. It's weird. You think they have something better to do with their lives. But they don't. Is there a game universally considered bad that I actually enjoy? Final Fantasy Mystic Quest is a good answer to that. But I recently, and by recently I mean like last year, did an actual review of Mystic Quest, and it held up a lot better than I was expecting it to. There's also Zelda 2, and Castlevania 2. I forget if it's left or right. Well, I hope it's left. Find out a second. It was not. Cool. Yes, Simon's Quest. The original Metroidvania, kind of. The problem with Zelda 2, we can talk about that since I don't have much to say right now, is that Zelda 2 is a perfectly good game up until a certain point in it. And you can almost tell that they just sort of stopped designing at a certain point. Because at a certain point, Zelda 2 just stops being well designed. It just starts being, ugh, you know? It's okay, Corb. Yeah, for the longest time, Ross, I assumed that was a translation issue, and then within the last 6 or so years, there was a Clyde Mandelin did a discussion on the Japanese version, and no, apparently they're just as big a dicks in the Japanese version. It's just, that's how it is. Because it sucks to be you. That's it. So this is we introduce Albatross and Bob-Ombs, along with Ostros. There's mushrooms for, like, each of these. I don't remember where half of them are. Probably more than half of them, honestly. Once again, we see they really like this left and right level design, by the way. They really wanted to play with the fact that you can go left and right. For better and for worse. Yeah! Ah! I can make it! Yeah, no, okay, so. Nothing up there. Oh, well, shoot, okay. We're getting closer and closer to hitting the cheat flag. I know how to get up there, I'm just, curious of something really quick. Because I don't remember what's in here. Oh, right. So this... They like to play with the wrapping concept on a few stages. But no, we'll be playing on an actual Wii tracks, yeah. Well, a Wii U, but still, same difference. It's okay, I bought some batteries. The only irony is Fanto doesn't home properly to accommodate for the wrapping, so you can actually kind of trick him by wrapping. But then you have the infinite spawn of Shy Guys, which is pushing you forwards. So what we have here is an incentive to stay still while something is pushing you forwards. Which, of course, is part of that increased escalation thing I was just talking about. Excuse me. Or, sorry, it's Fanto, not Fantoon. My bad. Yep, yep, nope. Too early. Too late. Well, that sucks. Time to start the whole world over again. It's okay, we have one more continue. So, anyways, this is World 3-1. As you can see, we've got something that probably looks terrible on stream. Pretty much straight out of Mega Man 2. It actually doesn't apply at all here, Giga Man, because it's per load screen. Yes, my name's Mr. Talks for a living. I suck at it. Obviously. It's okay, all of these Mario games except possibly World are going to involve me dying a lot. I said that right up front. I have never, since I was a child, pretended to be good at Mario games, and I never will. I've actually considered speedrunning several Mario games, and every time I do, I think about how terrible I am at them, and then I think, no, I'll stick with Mega Man, thanks. Maybe Castlevania. Because, you know, I can kind of do that. Okay, so never mind, there's a little bit of Ninja Gaidening. It's time to give more negatives. I will admit, I don't really usually notice the Ninja Gaiding in this game. We'll see if it's ever actually an issue. Because that's what... Ninja Gaiden's respawning is itself not the problem. It's when it gets, you know, in the way of the game! I'm not actually sure what happened there. That's really low chance to happen. Are you kidding me with this crap? Oh my god. Okay, that's actually really bad. My nose also itches. Stop itching, nose. Okay. God damn it. Huh. Well, so this is bad. So anyways, this is Super Mario Bros. 2. Now, you notice one of the first things they do right off the first stage is they throw up the cheat flag so they can just get on with it. This is the one thing that would be different when it comes to the future versions of this game. The one significant change. I don't remember where it is. Whatever. As I mentioned, the continue and game over features just work differently in the SNES and in the GBA versions of this game. That's also true, Delbach, although I actually don't know how it works there. Off the top of my head, I mean. Anyways. I could really use some lives. There's like a pattern to it, and I don't remember any of it. It's been too long since I've done this. Oh, okay, whatever. Jotting down pluses and negatives and negatives and negatives. This will probably be a net positive game, but I actually have a feeling this will not score as well as Mario 1 did. Any predictions in chat? We've kind of already shown off these parts of the levels, so we're just going to get on with it. What? By the way, being on a ladder doesn't count when it comes to refilling your cover as Princess Peach. I don't actually remember Mario 1's golden number. Alas, there is no mystical, incredible spreadsheet that will actually be able to tell me exactly what Mario 1's golden number was. If only such a thing were accessible and available. If anybody wants to look. It is also on the website, it's not just on the spreadsheet. I mean, that tends to happen, Trihexia, so... 3.70. Yeah, that's about right. I mean, Mega Man 1 didn't exactly score very well either, and of course it didn't. Why would it? Ah, damn it! It's Mega Man 1. So that would be bad Ninja Gaidening right there. So anyways, there's this Birdo fight, right? Honestly, I'm not sure any first game in any series is going to rate particularly high when it comes to golden number, especially when it comes to the NESs. Oh. You can't get me now! A little late. I mean, most of these games are net positive. Even Mega Man 1 was a net positive. That being said, I've never liked Zelda 1 all that much. So, I don't know. Legit. What do we think? Do you think Zelda 1 will be a net positive? Right side. I mean, again, I'm not a fan of Zelda 1. I never have been. But I don't know how it'll score. That is true, Pyro. I've actually talked about that concept a lot, too. When it comes to newer games, well, games with more in them. There's more, literally more percentage chance for screw-up. It's one of the reasons why some of the best games of all times are the ones that are newer, but also don't screw up. Because all that extra stuff is good and then adds to the score. Kinda rare, though. I don't think so, Red Letter. Which one was that one? Also true, Pyro. Like, well, arguably Shovel Knight, which is, to this day, the highest rated gameplay score I've ever given any game, and I don't think that's getting surpassed. Let's not die this time. Pro tip. Getting hit by enemies is bad. You can quote me on that. If you asked me, like... if you asked me before I started playing Dread if I thought it was gonna, get close to Super, I'd be like, no, there's no way in hell. Having played it, it doesn't really surprise me that much that it got that close. There's actually a faster way to do this, but it's a little tricky and a little more risky, which is why I wasn't doing it. I'm just gonna be safe. I'm just gonna nope out of that nonsense. What'd you get, Mr. Red? Nope, nope. Why did I jump? I figured he'd go down. Now I gotta go all the way back up. I think I rented that one, Red Letter, because that actually does sound familiar. But I know I never owned it, and I certainly don't own it now. It's not part of the collection. Whoop, that was strange. Do the riskier strat, just to... Nope, I already screwed up. Back to risky strats. You know what I'm kind of thinking? I'm actually thinking we should give a plus to music for the theme and the ending theme, because there's 2 songs in this game. And both are pretty well designed. And then I think we should give a negative to music direction. For these 12-second loops for large stretches of gameplay. This is not exactly exclusive to the entire final dungeon has this song playing over it. This 12-second loop. So it is possible to... Oh, okay, that's... alright. We're not playing as Luigi, but it is possible to skip a lot of what I just did. With that ninja right there. Thankfully, we don't have to do all of that over again, just about half of it. I'm not actually that familiar with Castlevania 1, so I'm not sure. I know 2 and 3 and 4 and Soten a lot better than the others. God damn it. That was me accidentally letting go and then being an idiot. God, my nose really itches today. I don't know what's going on with me. Right. So I mentioned that back and forth level design. I don't know how much praise they really should get for that, or if that's fully positive worthy. Especially considering the main reason they did the back and forth level design was they were trying to save on memory on the cart. Because they only have to keep track of these 2 zones, and they just kind of have the level go back and forth between them, so it looks bigger than it is, you know, that kind of a thing. That's because ActRaiser 1 is better than ActRaiser 2. While we're on the subject, Dragon Quest 1 fared better than Dragon Quest 2 in terms of score. And so did Final Fantasy 1 over Final Fantasy 2. Go, 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 go! That was weird, but okay. Just gonna accept that. Because I have no choice in the matter. Yeah, DMC 1 is another good example of that. There's gotta be other examples. Help me out, what's some other examples of that? Concept. Nope, 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 nope. But then, I need to start save stating more often. Like I said, I'm not ashamed of throwing up the cheat flag on this game. I'm really not. See, what I'm thinking, Digital Jodo, is that ActRaiser 2 is the worst game ever made in the... Oh, sorry. What I meant by that... No, I am joking. I like ActRaiser 1 better than ActRaiser 2, but I'm not sure if I would call it a better game. Like, if we're to abandon joking for a second. Because the thing is, ActRaiser 1 had... the top-down mode, right? Like, the pseudo-Sim City thing. Also known as the thing they're really expanding on in the remaster, which I'm really looking forward to, by the way. There's a game for Lore's List. Oh, come on, Peach. But then... This is getting ridiculous. I need more lives. Kingdom Hearts is better than Chain of Memories. I would agree with that. There we go. Let's just start save stating all willy-nilly. That sounds like a good idea. For no reason. I don't agree with KOTOR, though. 2 is just a better made game, in my opinion. Especially on the gameplay axis. KOTOR 1 has some issues on the gameplay axis. I would agree with that, Dr. Winter. Because I don't like the platforming in ActRaiser 1 at all. Nope. Wow, okay. And yeah, I would agree with Parasite Eve as well. Although I'm not a huge Parasite Eve fan, so that's kind of a whatever. A bacon cheese sandwich, that sounds really good. Oh, why did you do that, Laura? You know what's funny is I just like the endings of both KOTOR 1 and 2, just for completely different reasons. Whoa! That... Mind me. This is the downside of Peach, by the way. She has to do super jumps for several of her jumps because her jumps are so short compared to everyone else's. Go away. Oh, thank God. Give me a health. Yeah, exactly, Kamek. Exactly right. The ending, the evil ending is at least better, but the good ending has always bothered me. And that's... Reviewing it recently did not change that opinion at all. Aaron. KOTOR's 2 ending is garbage. I know we all meme on it, but no, it's garbage. It's trash. Hey. No! But then we're back here. You know, I wouldn't even disagree with you on that, Evo. KOTOR 2's non-ending is part of the problem. Yeah, I think... I don't remember if I said this during the KOTOR review, but the problem with KOTOR 1's ending is it's a New Hope's ending with none of the presentation. It's like a bunch of kids putting on a theater play of A New Hope's ending. It's earnest and you know, God bless them, but it's just terrible. So, Mouser 2, this time you have to use his bombs. In the previous one, there were a few bombs we could use that were not his. Also notice the platform's a little bit offset, and we've got a Spurker, or whatever they're called, that we have to deal with too. God, you know, I love Neverwinter Nights 2 to death, but, oh my gosh. That ending was just one of the worst. So, if you get offset on this one, it actually really sucks, as I'm demonstrating, so we're just gonna redo that. That's true, Dragon Age Origins will rate higher than Dragon Age 2. I haven't reviewed 2 yet, but I think I can safely predict that. Alright, giant rat guy. Wait, is this you? Here, let's see. Well, he didn't kill me, so, you know. He does have those cool shades. That's kind of cool, I'll give you that. There we go. On a much better timer here. Uh-oh. Got off timer a little bit. That's okay. We can recover. Because we interrupted his toss. Toss again. I so rarely manage that. And we're good. Still at 0 lives. Welcome to World 4, also known as Hell. Before we move any further, before we go do the hell level, let's discuss. No, Neverwinter Nights 1 was 3.5. It was heavily adapted, but it's still 3.5. Yeah, those of you who've played this game, you know why I call this hell level. This... Real talk, back in the day, I used to replay Super Mario Bros. 2, get to World 4-1, and then die, and then die, and then die, and then game over, restart, die, and then die, and then die, game over, and start the game over again. I didn't beat Super Mario Bros. 2 until I had already beaten Super Mario Bros. 3. So... Anyways, So let's codify some positives and some negatives here, shall we? I think we're going to start up an aggregate for the things we've already had right now. That's possible, Loner. The easiest way to tell is to look at monks, because monks usually are the, they're the big shifters between versions. You could be right, though, Loner. I don't know. With regards to 2, I mean. Okay. So, negative for controls, aggregate negative for the pit problem, and the Ninja Gaiden problem, and at the moment for the lives problem. That being said, I think it would be easy to blossom out the lives problem into a full negative. What are we thinking? Give me some feedback. Yeah, I realize I just made that part of an aggregate, but it would be extremely easy to argue me up to a full negative, especially since I am specifically cheating in this game, using save states, to avoid that problem. To avoid having to redo large swaths of the game over and over and over. At this point, if I had made it to 4-1 without cheating, what I was going to do is just start using the pipe to get back to 4-1. But we didn't even make it this far because I suck. I think I'm going to go and give the visual storytelling plus just 1. Nothing special there, really. Still debating the music, but that's for general level design. So 4-1. So far, the levels have been fun, interesting, engaging, and other than some control issues, I've been with it. 4-1 is where this game goes to die. In fact, actually, you know what I should honestly probably do is accept a game over here. But anyways, so we have ice physics, which take the existing squirreliness and just ramp it up. Look at this. Look at that. Look at how far you slide in this game. That is madness, how far you slide in this game. By the way, it's worse for Luigi. Now, the second problem is these enemies spawn. You can see it happening periodically, especially if I go quickly enough. They spawn, like, right above where you're at. And so they just beeline straight for you immediately, because of course they do. And so either you have good reflexes, or you get hit. So that kind of sucks. But so far this stage isn't terrible, you know, it's cool, you know. We're okay-ish. You know, we introduced to another new enemy. I think it's our final new enemy right there. We've got the flurries, and we've got the cannon shy guys. Whoops! So that's actually okay. I'm gonna accept this, weirdly enough. Just bear with me for a second. I mean, office chairs don't usually hit someone with, you know, lame, but that's okay. You're probably wondering what we're doing. We are farming gear. Since I don't have to show off the levels, I'm just kind of going straight into it. So we've had this song. Let's get technical here. We've had this song. We've had the Mario theme, which plays when you're in the door areas, the potion areas. We have this song, which plays for enemies. Hang on. So intro, overworld, cave, enemy, underworld, and ending. So yeah, it is 6 songs that exist in this game. You have heard 5 of them. Well, I don't know if I'd call this game a gear check so much as a I suck at this game. But yes, I am trying to get some gear. In this case, gear is lives. I'm trying to get a backup battery of lives in order to be able to push through this. I should have picked Luigi. Whatever. There's also a trick with regards to this guy, which I'm going to try to show off, because why not? Oh, I didn't do it right. Hang on. Let's try that again. Let's save state before we really mess with this. No, yep, that's why we save stated. Hang on. Wow, that's weird. No? Okay, hang on. That's really weird. Alright, whatever. I'm gonna give up. They changed quite a bit, Metroid Hatchling. I said that earlier. Hey, I kind of pulled it off for a second. They changed quite a bit. Like a couple pages worth of changes. It's all small stuff. Mostly regards to the physics and the not the graphics, the controls. There we go, that's the word I was looking for. Just in case, you never know. Oh yeah, there's also no save feature. You don't have to complete the game several times. I don't remember the full list. You can look it up. But yeah, one of the first things we said at the very beginning of this review is, this is not Doki Doki Panic reskinned. They actually put some effort into, you know, making it a Mario game. You know what? I'll take it. The Doki Doki Literature Club. Well, they changed a couple of things. Well, I mean, I usually do my research. Trihexia. At the very least, a brief glance. So anyways, World 4-1. Welcome to hell. Honestly, I'm surprised no one's done that yet, Bella. Oh yeah, by the way, as with previous ice physics games we've covered, you also have a slow acceleration in addition to a slow deceleration. Good afternoon, Walker. I'd ask what kind of lights you're doing, but I don't want to pry too much. A NES game that would get a customization plus. Do you mean a cosmetic plus? Or an options plus? Because those are kind of separate things. Hey, Asinius. I'm glad you liked it. I did! Not the room. The room was terrible, but the game was great. God damn it, this game is so squirrely! Well, either way, I'm going to go with no, Mr. Ed, because I can't think of one in either direction. Yeah, some fireballs, they want it, you know? I like to do white and blues myself, Walker. If I happen to do it, which I'm not this year because I live in an apartment. So, this stage is usually the one I die on. We're going to do this the slow method. There's two ways to do this. Because there is actually a pattern to these things. It's just, it's the Yellow Devil from Mega Man 1. No, really. It's not the exact same pattern, but you could see what I mean by that. Okay, we got through that a lot faster than I thought we would. Now we have the whales. These are funny. These are not hard. They are easy to take damage on in a section immediately after an area. It's very easy to take damage on, and it's really easy to fall to your death here. Because ice physics and bottomless pits, with regards to the water. Hey, Madman. And of course, those jets of water, which actually do damage to you. I mean, I like whales in general, as Dive can attest to. Oldest comedy that still stands up. I mean, Abbott and Costello is my first thought there. Abbott and Costello is legit, even now. Yeah, we're taking this nice and easy. We are not messing around on this stage. Yeah, Marx Brothers was my second pick, which I forget which one's first. So that's a warp pipe too. We're not going to bother with that. We're just getting out of here. No, what's on second, who's on third, and I don't know who's on fourth. So, this is our first introduction to this type of puzzle. Using the enemy. Laurel and Hardy? I actually never liked Laurel and Hardy, personally. Oh, I don't know his third base? Man, I don't know. I don't know who's on third base. So, continuing the escalation with Birdo, this one is over death pits on ice, with a Birdo who can shoot fire periodically. Get me out of here! Okay, so that was the really hard level. Actually, legitimately the level I was most worried about in this entire run. I'm not joking. You know what I like better about the Mario 3 bonus chance thing? It involves skill and memory, as opposed to randomness. Just get a save state in. So, going back to our escalation in level design. We just had a section where we had to use the enemy to cross a large area. Here's a Birdo with no globe. So it's pretty easy to get across what they want with this pretty quickly, and I just wanted to comment on that because you notice they do introduce that concept before they force it upon you. So, continuing the escalation of themes and level design. Now, I think you can only make this with Luigi. I'm going to try this once, but I'm pretty sure this is a Luigi-only trick, and I'm wrong. Wow, that was... okay. Okay, there's no... so, okay. So we're just going to skip this stage. There we go. No, I'll do it. I'll do it properly. Okay, you notice I didn't mention the Three Stooges. I don't actually think the Three Stooges are that funny. Oh, don't mistake me. They're very good at slapstick, but I'm just not a slapstick guy. Never have been. You like ice physics, right? How about... so once again we see the escalating theme. Because as we go up here, there's more and more likeliness of them actually interfering with us, you know, actually hitting us, because as we're going up. Is it that? Oh, it is, but wow, okay. Yeah, you of all people would love ice physics, right, Metroid? Actually. So, third time we're using the enemy to navigate. I've already screwed it up. That's okay. I was being a little bit squiggity. We do need to decide if we give any negatives to 4-1. Actually, 4-2, more accurately. I'm not sure if it really deserves it, but it is something we need to debate. We need to debate being flickery, too. Being flickery is kind of awesome, but, you know. Now we're not flickery, so we're okay now. I will give them this. They tutorialized that it's okay to jump off the Shy Guy there because of the cherries. Those aren't gotcha traps. Those are, it's okay. Oh, a wise guy, eh? Sorry. Ice physics! Ice physics! Oh, God! Couldn't go through the door. It's so ice physics-y. Speaking of slapstick. Nah, nah, nah. Just gonna despawn those guys. Yeah, the key is surprisingly powerful in this game. That's not actually a joke. It kills most enemies, and it's a renewable weapon, which no other weapon is other than the blocks. That being said, it is the exact same coding as the blocks, so those kind of qualify too, but whatever. We did it! And we've made it across, hey! So this is Frag-Eye. He can either be very easy or extremely hard. But we've got some lives, so I'm not going to be too worried about this. Which is good. I just died. So this is Frag-Eye. I am confused by that. Oh yeah, it wraps. That's the funny thing. This is another example of a boss that's very simple. In fact, I would say Claw Grip and Triclide are both harder than Frag-Eye. But this is pretty much pattern recognition of the boss, and there's nothing really else to say about him. I have seen several people die to this phase. I'm glad I said that out loud. Come on, over here. Notice the enemy does not want to wrap, mostly because they're homing in on us. It's kind of the same thing with Fanto. First thing I do is I make a good film, Mr. Red. It's critical. Then I call it Ready Player One. So, 5-1. How many of you even remember 5-1? And I don't mean that as like a mocking statement, I mean that legitimately. The bombs! Notice they go off much faster. So, we've had 2 iterations of this theme before. Now we're combining themes, which is something Mario games tend to do a lot. We've got the long jump way, and we've got having to use enemies. So we've got the logs in the waterfall, which we've seen before. And we've had using enemies for progression. Well, now we get both. I'll take that. Yeah, we played it like 3 years ago, Vandalia. Listen, we here at the Lore Walkers do things a little bit out of order. This section is kind of mean as anybody other than Peach. So, our first Gray Birdo. Notice he starts off on the platform, so you have a moment to get a chance to see that he's shooting nothing but fireballs before they just throw you at him. So even now, they're not being unfair. However, they also only give you 1 block to use. Continuing the theme of escalation. Yeah, that's actually bad positioning, so we're just going to chill for a minute. Birdo definitely has no chill. Double boo. You know what? I'll take that. I found the pattern. I told you there was a pattern, right? Oh, we'll get there, Diligent Dodo. Don't you worry. Ah! Yeah, getting a 3-up on that is absolutely absurd. Anyways, the reason I mention how many people remember this stage is it's probably one of the hardest stages in the game. Properly difficult. Because 4-1 is mean, 4-2 is insane, and 4-3 is just kind of, you know, also mean. 5, 1, 2, and 3 are probably the stages that are, you know, the actual hardest, because the 6s are back to the desert land, and that's just whatever. And the 7s are pretty short and actually surprisingly easy. And I'm an idiot. Let's see if I can do this properly. So where do you think we should place it? We do it here, or if we could jump down. If we jump down, we can't get back up. It's not for a bit. I don't remember where it is either. As I said before, I don't remember all the locations. No, we've never reviewed lost levels, and honestly, I'm not even sure I would allow it if it was requested. It's okay, we got a lot of lives. Let's see what would happen if we put it up here. I'm actually kind of curious now. Yeah, I don't like folding laundry. Which is why I don't do the laundry. I just wear dirty clothes and then throw them away. And then buy new ones. That would be such a waste. Let's see what happens if it's here. Hey! I'll take that. So jumping down would have been okay, Mr. Red. I just went too far, apparently. Well, you see Nero's ass. Actually, if you want a legitimate answer to that question, it has since been canonically confirmed that Subcon is a real place, it's just a different dimension. Which is why things like Shy Guys and Bombs and all that exist in the rest of the world, is because it's a place you can go to and from. It is the realm of dreams, but that does not make it not real. That being said, it is weird that there's several characters they've just kind of left abandoned in here. Like Wart, and Mouser, and Clawgrip, and Triglide, and everything else we've been talking about. Those are the bosses. They brought back the Birdos for some reason. So, I used to die a lot on this. I'm not sure why. Like, these aren't insta-kill spikes, and it's a really simple pattern. Ignore the fact that I got hit. Twice. And died. I knew it! I knew that would happen! That's... oh, that's fantastic. Alright, alright. Oh, you are so squirrely in this game. I really cannot describe what this game feels like to play if you haven't played it. It's just insanity. Probably Gingaman. They're probably thinking, who could we pair up with Yoshi? I've got it. Yeah, they brought back Bob just for that one stage. Like, hey, Bob. Now listen, Bob, they can't be instant kill spikes. What? There's spikes that don't instantly kill people? Yes, Bob. But... oh no, this game is definitely a janky game. This game would absolutely belong in the jank block. Now, as much as I say that I do think Mario 3 has squiggity, Mario 3 does not have jank. Mario 3 controls well. It's just the squiggity is still there. And that's a key distinction, because this game is jank. So that's a warp to World 7, I want to say, up there. Just let you know, because we're not doing that. And now this section. There we go. Run! 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 Aw. Come on, a little closer, a little closer. Ah! Fallen Order has neither. Jank is easy to define, but hard to identify, which I know sounds contrasting, but just bear with me. Jank is when you try to do something and it doesn't work that way. Now, that can be a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things that can be jank. Maybe the physics are janky, maybe the levels are janky, maybe the platform is janky, maybe the collisions are janky. You know, all that stuff can be janky, right? But... Yep. Squiggity... Squiggity is also easy to describe. Squiggity is that extra little bit of slide you get, especially in Mario games, when you try to finish moving. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to pay attention because I'm unhealthier at the moment. That's a good way. Well, see, that's the whole inconsistency thing, Lord Harriman. Like, the whole point of jank is... Like, if there's a game where every time you do a certain action, it does it wrong, well, then that's fine, because you know to do that every single time. However, a janky game is when it does it inconsistently. Like, where you're just like, oh, do this. Okay, sure. And then it works sometimes, then it doesn't work sometimes, and I die to that thing. Squiggity. Have you ever played a modern Mario? Because that's where the term comes from. Yeah, slowdown and collision are two good examples of jank. And controls are a pretty common thing, as are physics. There's a lot of physics jank games. Anyways. I need to farm some health here really quick. In modern Mario games, when you try to stop, there's a sound effect that plays, and it sounds like you're putting the brakes on almost. That sound is the squiggity. Yeah, it's named after the sound effect. Primarily named after... No! I need that! Ah! You gotta be kidding me. Primarily named after Luigi, who has just deliberate squiggity when it comes to modern Mario games. Yeah, I don't care for squiggity, like I said. It's not my thing. It's pretty much the reason I tend to not be good at Mario games. Locked myself in here, but that's okay. So yes, Mario 3 has squiggity. Mario 2 has squiggity and jank. More of that screen wrapping. And again, you can use it to your advantage because the enemy always homes in on you, but can't recognize when you're on the other side of the map. Like this. So you can just kind of pull them down like that. No, that would be giggity. Said completely differently, Disco. And also, that's gross, and so are you. I'm kidding, you're not gross. I think. I hope you're not gross. I shouldn't say that presumptively. I assume you are not a gross person. I'm just gonna reset a little bit here. Well, this isn't terrifying or anything. Just for the hell of it. So anyways. I mean, what? I've already cheated. At this point, it does not matter. Sadly, listen, gross people need to die, Jarendolphian. That's all I'm saying. So this is... Whoops. That's actually on me. I'll accept that death, though. Because there's another strategy used on this boss, which I just failed at miserably. This is Claw Grip. One of my favorite things, so there's a little bit of jank with regards to the physics here. Yeah, but then I have to start over, Mr. Red. Like, from the very beginning. So, screw it. Do not care. I'll beat Mario 3 without cheating. And Mario World, not that that's an accomplishment. Yeah, usually he gives me a better pattern than that. I should probably say thank you to Dr. Winter. Thank you very much for the sub. Always do appreciate. Thank you. Do you know where you want to put that? No, yes, the strategy is to get... So he throws the rocks, and you land on them, and then you pick them up. Now, the thing is, there are effectively 3 types of rocks he will throw. In fact, I think there are literally 3 types of rocks he will throw. 1, he throws it into the pit behind you. 2, he throws it kind of sloping down towards you. 3, he throws it down but at a much faster pace. Now, the significance there is the latter 2 you can jump on top of, pick up, and throw at him. But one of those, you've got tons and tons of time to do. And the other, you don't, because you'll just kind of go flying into the other pit. So let's see. Gianna Sisters, Twisted Dreams. Never even heard of this game. Or Best for Glory. You got it. Thank you again, Dr. Winter, very much. As always. So, boss time. Gonna throw a save there. Okay. You know what's funny is usually this is the easiest boss in the game for me. I'm not actually joking. I have harder times with Birdos than Claw Grip, and for some reason I am just failing today. I don't even know what's up with me. Wow, okay, okay. Try the other method. Yeah, there's the 3rd type of rock I was just mentioning. There's the 1st type. There's the 1st type again. That's the 2nd type. Damn it. Is this just because I said you're the easiest boss in the game, Claw Grip? Is that what this is? Because that sure as hell seems to be what this is going on here. Oh my god. Okay. Fine. Apparently, I can't beat the easiest boss in the game. That's pretty understanding. Remember when I mentioned during the Fry Guy fight that every boss in this game is either very easy or very hard, and there's like not a lot of in between? Same bosses, too. It's just down to which particular pattern you get and how well you adapt to it. Yeah, no, that's on brand, Hasdus. You're right. Super hard boss? Yeah, no, I got this. First try. Super easy boss? Yeah, I'm gonna game over like 15 times on it. Like that. What? Okay, that's jank. That's a good example of jank. You notice how it just dragged me down there? Like, the physics of this game, if you could call them that, are just hard to describe. Beautiful, beautiful physics. I'm not gonna argue that one. This is just our lives now. We're gonna be fighting Clawgrip for the rest of the game. This is the rest of the stream, right here. We're not gonna get to World 6 and the rest of the desert levels. It's just inconsistent, Dr. Winter. See the aforementioned. Jank. So there should be another one. Yep, there it is. I'm gonna save here for no reason. He's gonna throw low. Yep, called that. Yeah, okay. I don't think I've ever seen that. Did you see what just happened? I literally don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Just vibrating and everything. It's... Well, that's death. Well, the first thing you do, Mr. Red, is you get some, good mustard. Maybe I'm just usually way more aggressive on this fight. I'm being too cautious. Yeah, exactly, Lord Darabon. So anyways, that was Clawgrip. Easiest boss in the game. So, Desert Level 2. This one just opens up with, hey, yeah, quicksand and enemies and projectiles, and the game is no longer screwing around. Although, ironically, I do find this stage to be easier than 5, which means naturally I'm about to die 15 times in a row, because that's how that works. We've already established this. Yep, so that was the wrong position to do that in. By the way, you can do this in this game. No, she's not into platformers, really. Although she likes Cadence of Hyrule. You'll also notice I'm kind of not getting stuff more often. That's actually because of a lack of knowledge. I don't know what's where at this point in the game. I'll be honest, in most of my replays, I would just go to World 7. Don't look at me like that. Huh? I'm pretty sure I was not the only kid who would replay Mario 3, get the first 2 whistles, and then go to World 8, right? Same thing with Mario 1, same thing with Mario 2. So it wasn't here. Sure, that might as well be a thing. It isn't here either. Oh, that sucks. And now we're dead. This is called the Nope strategy. But hang on, I just remembered where the part is. Or the health. I think so. Yep. Here's a fun little pseudo-puzzle. There's a bunch of pipes. There's a locked door. Where do we go? See, I'm pretty much the exact opposite Jaron Duffy. Jank games must die! I mean, that's not true. There's plenty of jank games I like. I like Dying Light, and I like the Trine series, to name two I've been playing recently. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Pick a number between 0 and 16. It's a good point. You can play while drunk. 14, 13, 12. So this one's 11. Okay, this is promising. This is bad. That's what this is. Yeah, okay, I'll just accept that. So, you did that on purpose, I have a feeling. But yes, it was in fact 11. The other ones are pretty easy to tell it's not them. It's just, you know, you pop in and it's like a single room with nothing in it. Green Birdo. It's actually just gray Birdo again. That's bad. Nope. Remind me to save state more often. Since we're officially just save stating at this point. Yeah, what's up, Hazardous? Should I do something more often? You got it, buddy. I got your back. Oh, excuse me. I didn't need those lives anyways. Who needs lives, am I right? Don't need it in real life, don't need it in the game. Unfortunately, rewind isn't an option on this particular setup. So, enemies as platforms. You like enemies as platforms, right? I sure hope so. I knew that was coming. But still. Ugh. This is this stage, by the way. This is the challenge of this stage. Do that. I actually can't believe I did that first try. So, why am I not using Switch Online? That is actually a fantastic question, because the rewind feature is awesome, and is basically save states, but better in several, you know, mentalities. So... That's why, right there. No, there's a problem with the Switch Online one, which probably has a solution, but I honestly didn't even look for a solution. And as soon as I saw the problem, I was like, you know what, whatever, we're not reviewing that version anyway, so it doesn't matter which version I'm using. The problem is lack of the ability to rebind keys. So I kept hitting jump when I wanted to not jump, and I kept hitting not jump when I wanted to jump. And I already suck enough at these games, I'm not going to make it that much harder on me, you know? But no, the core reason why is because, and screw it, right? I thought about reviewing the All-Stars version. In fact, I was very tempted to review the GBA version specifically. Because that negative we gave would not be there for the GBA version. The only reason I didn't, and this, I actually belabored this back and forth in my head most of this morning. The only reason I didn't was I was like, well, the original reason... Hang on, I'm just going to show this off. The original point of this review was to show off Super Mario Bros. 2 on the NES. Yeah, that was the request. Yeah, that when they... Oh, wow, I was a little bit too slow there. Hang on. That was what was requested, right, as part of the Review? Hold on. What? Huh. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so I'm just showing this off, like I said earlier. And this is the end of the stage right over here. Right there. Anyways, like I said, I was just showing that off. I don't want to actually do that. We pick poorly as usual. Hang on, so if it wasn't here... Is it over here? Nope. Okay, now I'm curious. Hang on. Oh yeah, Mario 1 was a big step forward in graphics over Mario. Mario 2 was a big step in graphics over Mario 1. God, I cannot talk today. That's... Let's assume it's not there. Let's try right here. Nope. Where the hell's the mushroom? I mean, there was one platform it could have been on, but whatever. Moving on. So. See, this is a good time to talk about level design. One of the things we've talked about a few times is the nature of how our pluses and minuses system work. For those of you who've never heard me say this, excuse me, for those of you who have heard me say this, forgive me. For those of you who haven't heard me say this, the general idea is that if a game has a really good level, then that level gets a plus. If it has a really good level, and then several okay levels, then it gets 2 pluses. One for level design, and one for the really good level. And the same exact thing applies to negatives. A game with 3 great levels, 1 okay level, 5 okay levels, and 7 bad but not terrible levels would be 2 pluses and a negative, right? The reason I bring that up is very few of the actual specific stages really jump out at me when it comes to Mario 2. Now, if anybody disagrees and thinks there's a specific stage that's particularly good or bad, well, this would be a good time to mention that. It's not here either! Where the hell's the mushroom? It's fine. But for the most part, I do think that most of the stages are generically good in this game. It is still a Mario game, still made by the core Nintendo team, yada yada yada. Also, I'm glad you liked it, Mr. Red. Sure, even though that's a terrible idea. Yeah, exactly, Vandalia. There's not going to be much story when it comes to Mario games, let's be real. Actually, it was originally a Mario game. As I talked about earlier. Then it was turned into Doki Doki Panic, and then it was turned into Mario 2. Also, the next person to make that joke is going to get banned. I'm joking. I'm not going to actually ban it, but, you know. See, I can't hate the levels, even though I kind of feel your vibe on that, Blue of Alex. It's just because there is some obvious good design on display, you know? Good variety, good escalation, good presentation, good tutorialization. Ugh, good getting killed for no good reason. Good for getting to save state. That's probably the best part of the game, honestly. If it's not obvious, I'm not used to save stating in games. Unless it's like Half-Life, in which case I just hit F5 like, it owes me money. Ooh, there we go. He's just hungry, Zach Taft. Don't mind him. Hey, Rex. Well, we're still debating a Music Plus. There are 2 real songs in this game. 3 if you count the intro song, which I do not. This is one of them. Now, I actually like this song. Yeah. Sorry. They really do like their verticality in this one. Which makes sense, since the original game was just a vertical game. No horizontal scrolling at all. Hi, Sean. Whoop. Well, I knew that was gonna happen. Come on, there we go. I hope you like climbing. It's like ice physics. They pick something, it's like, here, this is the climbing level. Save state. I remembered. And here's the end of the level, which I showed off earlier. So, this is an interesting one. Oh, I don't know why I did that. This is one of the extremely few Mario games that doesn't include Bowser. And I do mean extremely few. Even in games where he's not the antagonist, or where he doesn't play a major role, Bowser is usually present. Whereas there is no Bowser in this game at all. Yeah, Mario RPGs are a perfect example of that. So, boss number 2. It's okay, we're back to decent bosses. Ooh. Now this boss is pretty hard. Unlike Clogrip earlier, it was super easy. Well, you see, Lord Harriman, there's this thing called physics. This game doesn't know what that thing means. Now, this is one of the extremely few bosses in the game it's actually possible to soft block on. Or that is to say, to make it so you can't beat the boss, so you have to kill yourself. But, we're fine. See, hardest boss in the game, right there. That's why I one-shot it without effort. Staying on brand. Welcome to World 7. Also the last world. So we're still up in the clouds. I'm going to show off the stage here. We go to the right, we've got this Greek pillars kind of thing. There's some platforms. There's, so this is, once again, that escalation concept. You see how we have platforms and bombs on platforms. Sorry, breakable ground. Sorry, I could talk. Breakable ground with blocks and all that fun stuff. And nothing in there. So it was a waste of everything. here we can get. I don't even remember what, honestly. Oh, hey, cool. It's first mushroom we've gotten in like 3 stages, or 5 stages, or 8 stages, or too long. I didn't know the nightmares like vegetables. Trick question. It's because vegetables are just that good for you. Although I'm not a big fan of turnips myself. But wait, this is the end of the stage. What do we do? Well, again, they kind of push that back and forth idea. So hang on, let's respawn him, and there we go. However, unlike most of the previous stages where the back and forth is, you know, level, this isn't. You're just going back over the stage. So, no points there. You can also use, if you're playing Luigi, you can just skip that entire stage and just go right to the rocket here. This part sucks. And by memory, this is the part I usually die at a lot whenever I used to replay this game. 3, 4... So we've got all kinds of hell coming from all kinds of directions, and if you slow down even a little bit, well, it doesn't work out super well for you. And it's easy to do what I just did. And now we've got some respawns to deal with. And a little bit of slowdown. We're just going to take our time here. And we can no longer take our time. We gotta go. We're going to wait for the ninja. We're going to stop waiting for the ninja. We're going to save state. Although I would very much like to not reload 7-1. Or 7-2 for that matter. Oh yeah, there's only 2 stages because, well, for once they were running out of time and they had a rushed deadline. You're probably thinking, Nintendo had a rushed deadline? Yeah. But not from them, and for some reason that amuses the hell out of me. I picked, like, the worst spot to do this. Because it was the Fuji company, the television company, who was doing the festival. And they didn't redo the levels that much when it came to Mario Bros. 2, so... The last couple of stages are just different in terms of design, and as with a lot of games of this nature, you tend to notice the design that, like what Blue Alex was talking about earlier, just kind of gets noticeably worse the further into the game you get. Or noticeably less, at the very least. I don't know why that's a 1-up, but okay. The manual actually shows you all the stuff you can get. I don't remember all of it right now. So, 7-2, final stage. Probably the only real interesting tidbit here is we go into this giant castle. And we have a conveyor belt. And enemies, which are fun. Not instant death spikes. So this is the only stage in the entire game that might get a positive by itself. As always, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. The main reason is because there's a fairly large amount of pathing you can do through here. I'm actually taking one of, I believe, 3.5-ish routes you can take through this place. Mostly because this is the route I usually take, so this is the one I have memorized. I got hit naturally. It's very on purpose. Definitely intended. Definitely not just me screwing up on that. That was also very intended. Very much so. Notice that because of how many load screens there are, there's actually a lot of checkpoints throughout this stage. Wart's Castle, by the way. Yeah, I was just damage boosting. Don't mind me. Of course, Triax, yeah. there's the story, right there. It's a ladder. It's another ladder. It's a third ladder. Let me go back in here. I actually don't know what's down here. That's specifically why I'm going this way. Oh, that's mean. Hey, I will take that. Now we just gotta get back up without getting hit more. Now we just have to get back up without dying. I'm really glad I bothered to get that extra health, though. That was definitely a worthwhile investment. Oh yeah, by the way, when it's doing those screen transitions, this may sound like a weird thing to comment on, but there's no input you can do, which can throw you in a similar way to, like, in a Mega Man game when you're getting health ups. You can't do input while you're getting the health up. Similar concept. Except for 8 and 11, both of which didn't do that. In short, though, Trihexia, there's not much of a story here. We're here to save the Subconians, the denizens of Subcon, which includes a lot of the people we've been fighting, from Wart, who has taken over, bad dreams, etc. That's bad. That's extremely offset, too. But we made it. Well, the first thing I would note about Wart is he would either actually be villainous or be completely comical, one of the two. I'm not actually sure which. It would probably depend on my mood when I was writing it. So this is one of the more irritating, almost like Kirby, Birdo fights in the game. He's the occasionally eggs one on a conveyor belt. And now we have the hardest Fanto sequence of the game. Just gonna pause that. No reason. Nice and cautious about this. Okay, we're okay. Oh. Okay, so I guess the boss is in the next room. So that's a bit of a gotcha. It's probably one of the only true gotchas in the entire game. You go to... I only did that to show it off, so that doesn't count. The mouth turns into the boss. And so, naturally, you're inclined to immediately rush up to it and not realize, oh god! And we go in. 7 songs! I forgot Wart had a last boss song. So, this is his attack, his only attack. He shoots out bubbles, the bubbles destroy vegetables because his breath is just that bad. No, we played as all 4, Richard. So as you can see, that's an issue. But yeah, this is kind of it. This is the last boss. Yeah, I don't know. Between the jewelry and the general corpulence of him, I sort of picked him for someone who's greedy, for example. Or, I don't know, avaristic, something like that. Yeah, possessed of avarice, in other words. And, well, not yet, actually, but... time. And that was Mario 2. And we do still have the ending to go through, but that was the outro from a gameplay perspective. Right, because I game overed. Yeah, I mean, Claw Grip was legit. I do like this song, by the way. In fact, I'm gonna shut up because I like this song. I was actually pissed when I first saw this. I'm glad they retconned this, that it was actually real, it's just a different dimension, yada yada yada. So we have the kind of cast credits list, which would become a regular thing with regards to, you know, the Mario franchise. Princess Peach is Princess Toadstool. Peach Toadstool is her name. I don't know why she's called that, but that's her. Fun fact, she wasn't called Peach in the States until Mario 64. First time they ever said that. I knew it, Disco. It all makes sense now. That is it. That's Mario 2. I'm willing to give a plus to the outro. I think it's one of the only stages in the game that's actually decent. And I don't have much else to add to that. Multiple routes, benefit for going other things. There's that one gotcha trap, which is irritating. But I think it's at least worth a positive. But however, I would be willing to be talked down to an aggregate or even a wash. What are we thinking? For the time, it was good, but we don't review things for the time. We review things right now. So, worthy of note. And again, this goes back to what Pyro and I were talking about earlier. This is... The reason I remembered Mario 2 so fondly, the reason I went back to Mario 2 so often, was because it was just so much better than just about everything else at the time. It was impressive. And then this came out and blew it out of the water. I don't know, Vandalia. I should go back in time. Yeah, and then World came out, and then just was a colossal hit. Anyways. I'm hearing several people say that the outro is good, but I hear one person arguing for an aggregate. And yeah, it has to be noteworthy in general. It can't just be a positive because it's good for the game, because that's not how that works. The problem is, if we give it an aggregate positive, I have no other aggregate positives to give. Granted, we do have the audit to do. So, let's pull up the audit list. This should be a pretty quick audit. I don't think this is going to take longer than a minute. Unlike the Metroid Dread audit, which took so long that PAX made fun of me for it. It was like a 40-minute audit. It took a minute. Okay. Super Mario Brothers 1. We also need to judge the narrative outro. Whoops. Look, it's not my fault that I'm thorough about my job. And then we'll put Super Mario World down here. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way in Vandalia. While certain aspects of this game were retconned later on to actually being real and having relevance and carrying characters forwards, none of that's in this game. In this game, right at the beginning, no, they don't, Richard. All we have is, it was all a dream. Later on, we learned it wasn't all a dream. But again, we're not reviewing later on. We're reviewing now. So, I'm just going to breeze through these. If anybody has anything to share other than about the outro, I'm listening. But I don't think any of this stuff is going to get anything positive or negative-wise. Because it's just, there's such an absence of story in this game. Even for a NES game, even for a platformer, there's not much here. So we give that one positive. So the only thing that matters is the outro. Do we think this is negative worthy? It was all just a dream. Now, I don't. I know that sounds strange, but I think the presentation of it pulls it up to a wash. That's my take on it. I know that's not much when it comes to a game like this, but it is still there. It's one of the reasons why Mario 3 is probably going to get a plus to the outro, because it's actually pretty... It's short and sweet, but it's pretty well done, you know? If that is a wash... And yeah, the game does start, even in the game, ignoring the manual, even in the game, it's like, hey, it's a dream. Okay. So I'm okay with a wash, which means this game has a net +1 to story. Gameplay. We still need to decide what we think of the outro, which is the final stage, 7-2, as well as the final fight with Wart. So I heard one person say aggregate, I heard a couple people say positive, and I heard a couple people say wash. The more I think about it, the more I'm pulling my own thoughts down from a full positive. It's not that much. It is a final stage. It is the only final stage in the game. But I think it's just not good enough to really be a full positive by itself. It's multi-branching, which is neat, but only like 3 times, or 2.5 times, or whatever. And it does have that gotcha trap, and it's really boring looking, and it has the same damn song that everything else does. And the Wart fight is just, it's the Mouser fight, but not as interesting. Streamability, Trihexia. Getting it into a streamable format is the big thing. So, yeah, no, the more I talk that out, the more I think I'm just going to talk myself down from that. So let's look at the list here really quick. Most of this stuff doesn't apply. There's not that good animations. The boss fights are whatever. I mean, do we think any of the bosses are negatives? That's really the question mark there, because none of them are positives. There's no built-in cheats. None of that's there. None of that's there. Let me look at this for a second. There is one thing that I think we could add a negative for, unfortunately. No, Vandalia, because again, it's just, there's the different playstyle, which we did actually give a plus to the differing playstyle. Which is actually going to go under kit. The Birdo reuse? I don't know if I agree with that, because there's actually only 3... See you around, Spartan. There's only, 2 Birdo reuses. And I know what you're thinking. What? Because each Birdo we fight, except for the last 2, is different in terms of attack pattern, in terms of arena. They do actually put effort and work into varying it up. And I don't think 2 refights is really worth a negative. Generic level design. Just right here. There we go. There we go. Controls are crap. Penalty for failure is crap. Got some jank going on. That being said, just had a negative in my mind. It's gone right now. Difficulty curve. If it's not obvious, I honestly feel this game has the same general problem that Super Mario Brothers 1 does. It's a little bit too easy, and then it's fun, and then it just starts punching you in the face, and it never really stops punching you in the face. It just kind of goes into it until you get to the end, and then it just suddenly becomes a lot easier again, and it's like, okay. It's an L. There it is. We got difficulty curve. There's not a lot of enemy variety. Not really. We certainly didn't give Mario 1 a plus for that. We will give Mario 3 a plus for that. What do we think? So, enemy variety, difficulty curve. What else do we got here? It's relevant. It's not really any itemization in this game. It kind of skips that. Mid-mission checkpointing is relevant, too. No, Richard. There's only really 2 differences in that version. We're actually doing Super Mario World after Super Mario Bros. 3, but otherwise, yes, sucked out. I'm going to give a plus for mid-mission checkpointing. Other than the lives problem, it's actually really good. Pretty much any time that you... anytime you have a load screen is a checkpoint. It's good for the NES, and also kind of proves that you could have mid-mission checkpoints on the NES, so there's that, too. That was a wash. Music. What do we decide with the music? You have heard the 2 songs in this game, of which this is 1. I know there's 7 total, but there's 2 real songs. And then, of course, the other one. We could give it an aggregate. Which brings me to my next question. How replayable do you think this game is? Now, this game definitely doesn't get a second plus for replayability, because it doesn't do anything to, you know, add to replay value. See, you probably already see where I'm going with this, because we could give an aggregate plus to music, and then we can give an aggregate plus to replayability, because it is somewhat replayable. I myself used to replay this game all the time, up to World 4, which doesn't sound like a full, you know, Mega Man-style positive to me, but it certainly does sound like a something, right? I wonder if I could pull this jump off as Mario. Nope. It does have the 4 characters, that's fair, Richard. We We didn't show this up, but did you know you could get up to 4 health? How's that for crazy? I know, Mr. Red. In all honesty, the idea of having health is something that was new to the Mario franchise here. Not that it gets credit for that, but it is something worth noting. And something that later games would carry forward. In Super Mario Bros. 3, you also have multiple health. It just doesn't have a literal health bar in the upper left like this one does. So, for example, you get the Raccoon suit, Tanuki suit, and you have 3 health at that point. You get once you're down to big, you get hit another time you're down to small. Mario World would continue that idea, and as would most Mario games. And if you remember, in Mario 1 it didn't work that way. You had 2 health at most, and that's it. So the only question to me is replayability a full positive or an aggregate? Yeah, Mario World, we'll get there. Probably Tuesday, to be completely honest. I don't think... I mean, we might get there Wednesday. Mario 3 might take us a minute. Admittedly, what I'm thinking too, Lighting Glass. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. And that's the power of Luigi, by the way. And why he's Luigi, number 1. No, I feel the same way, Rex. Mario 3, I hope, actually holds up. I guess we'll see. Yeah, no, let's do that. So, let's give a positive. Aggregate, positive. To music. And to the replayability. Now I need to check one more thing before we codify this and wrap this up. I guess that's it. Here on Devo. No, that is it. Unless anybody can think of anything else, we've audited at this point. We go and add those, but that's it. Not a lot to these older games. It's just kind of how it is. If that is true, our final score is going to be +1, +4. And when it comes to the golden number, let's calculate that really quick. I said, let's calculate that really quick. There you go. So let's see what our final score is for this one, shall we? What was Super Mario Bros. 1's again, please? I know someone looked it up earlier. I don't know where that came from, Hazardous. That's not mine. 3.7. Thank you. Honestly, for how simple this game is, that's a pretty good score, and I mean that sincerely. And with all in total honesty, I stand by what I've already said like 30 times, and will probably say during the rumination as well. This game was good for its time. It just doesn't hold up that well. IMO. So let's see here. Oh yeah, several games have actually scored 0. 0 in context means, you know, it effectively is the equivalent of a wash in terms of score. It is as good as it is bad. But for this game... It does score better than Mario 1, which it should. But it's still single-digit range. This is scoring a 6.79. Which, for a bit of perspective, puts that right around Dragon Quest III on the Switch. It puts that above Mega Man X3. It puts that just below Final Fantasy 15, which is probably saying a lot about FF15 more than this. It puts it below Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Yeah, exactly, Rex. That's exactly right. Anything that scores a 0 on the golden number is just kind of, eh. We've only had a few of those. While we're here, I'll go ahead and tell you. There's these. I have the list right here. Assassin's Creed Unity, Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, Diddy Kong Racing, Super Paper Mario, and Tropico 6 are the games that have just straight up scored 0. Thank you, the end of the line, very much, as always. Much appreciate. And I'll put that towards dealer's choice. Yeah, no, honestly, I'm going to be completely real. That scored a little bit better than I thought it would. I probably could squeeze in the Mario 3 review today, but I'd really rather just dedicate a day to Mario 3 so we can take our time with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off. And Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as per usual, we will start up Super Mario Bros. 3. And among other things, one of the things I want to show off with regards to that game is this. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow for Lore Week, Positivity, and I'll see you Tuesday.